Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Fight Night Rising, brought to you by Wisdom. My name is Khroen, and joining me is Boop. Boop, we are here once again, still set 5.5. I know we're all eagerly waiting for set 6. I'm sure we'll have some conversation about it, but how are you doing this evening? How are you
I
looking forward to
am.
tonight's games?
I'm doing really good. I think tonight's game should actually be pretty great. A lot of vets coming back. I think only one or two people haven't been in Fight Night before. Yes, we're
Yeah.
still on the old set, but this should be really good for anyone who is trying to push those last couple tiers to try to get some extra rewards. So there's still people pushing on that ladder, and we're here to help out too.
Definitely, there always are those, end of set grinders in the ladder trying to get rank 1 and something, and that's still pretty exciting. But let's go ahead and introduce the players that we have in this week's Fight Night Rising. I think we have some last-second subs, actually, as well, but let's look at the list here. We're going to have Admiral Xiao, our winner of last week, Dim Dan Sum, Sherbet, Gremlin, Jedi Mind Tricks, there we go. There's the sub, KJ, Jive and Thrive, and Papa Lev to round this out. And yeah, I think a lot of these players have been on Fight Nights before, so they know what's up. They know the competition. They've surely still been playing a bit of set 5.5, even though PV has certainly taken, most of us, but that's okay.
It has taken some of our hearts a yonder, but we're gonna come back home real quick. Go back to mom and pops for some nice, home cooked meals here on this set. And what's actually really cool, like you said, we've got some vets coming through. Giant Mind Trick's going to be subbing in at the last minute, but yeah, there's actually been a good amount of talk on the on the Twitterverse on people trying to kind of redeem themselves from the last time they were here. So we've got a group of three coming, a group of two, I believe, coming back from last time, and
True.
those vets like Dim Dan Sum, who have been here occasionally, but want to see if they can hold on until the next set. Because if you're able to streak into that next set, there's usually, a lot of interest when it comes to those newer tournaments. So you really want to find yourself there, and the best way to do it is to win your way through.
100%. And yeah, we do have, as you mentioned, a returning two. We don't unfortunately have Crispy Burger. I believe she is absent, but, did top 3 the last couple of weeks. Did second, or did third, and then second. Maybe this week was her first, but we'll have to see. Perhaps a bit later once they return. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and also talk about the prize pool that we have for these players. It is going to be $200 total. $100 of which goes to first place, second place 50, third and fourth $25, and of course the top 3 get invited back for next week. And we might be able to, I don't think I can confirm yet, but we might be able to have next week on set 6 PBE. Maybe I can speak it into existence here because it was in the works.
I think
really
like
hope we can.
the higher pitch you make it, the less likely it's going to happen, right? We
Really?
might be able to do PVE at the end of the day. I hope so too. But also, still learning the names of those augments. There's over 100 of them. So,
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a
still
lot.
some. I played like 20 games maybe, and I still am seeing new ones like every game. Like, I haven't seen this one yet.
Well, and at this point too, it's like, when you say a word too many times in a row, it starts to sound weird, right? You see these augments, you're like, have I seen this before? Have I played this? But enough about hex, text, and grenades or whatever. That next set is on the PVE right now, because we should be in for a good group of games today. Because last week we had people like Sherbet rolling at very interesting times, and it ended up working at a lot of Draconic players. Always really fun to see Draconics, and if you can speak something into existence, I hope we could see that tier 3-5 cost at some point in Fight Night. We've gotten a lot of tier 3-4 costs, but we haven't graduated just yet, as we have our first lobby here, Crad.
All right, let's go. On perspective of Admiral Xiao. Admiral Xiao looking to really break into the big competitive TFT space. I think they were mentioning last week, hopefully in set 6. But for now, of course, wanting to end out the set strong on set 5.5, starting with a bow and a Kha'Zix. So you're talking about a lot of people were starting to go that Draconic route. I think it was, buffed in the most recent patch as well. And of course, it's going to be a lot more likely if you get that 5 Draconic 5-turn egg, double the chance to get it. And if those start popping up, then we will be seeing players having a lot more opportunity to get these things, like some 3-star 5 cost perhaps. And oh man, look at this shop though.
Chug bug. So this is, something that we actually don't talk about a lot, is what happens when the game tells you to play something, right?
Yeah.
It's this is a situation where there's still 2 units in that pack that he could pick up, right? So he could technically lock this and find some value out of it,
Or finds gold,
or find a regular go for chug bug here, as this is one of the perfect starts you can ask for, as this is also going to be a tier 2 bug. So this is the overall question, right? Not a lot of people, I feel like, go into the game that's like, chug bug is the way, right?
No, not at all.
But when the game does it like this, are you someone who kind of goes along with the game, or is like, no, I don't know chug bug that well, I'm going to do something else, right? Because sometimes you end up piloting and, it's like you're going into another car. Everything's weird. Like the pressure for the gas is all different, and it can be the same for these comps.
Definitely. Comfort is a big thing in TFT, but Admiral Zhao, I think, has such a good opener for this. They could even sell up to 10 gold right now, keep the Grogs in the bench. Like, this is your dream opener for Chugbug. Like, it's gonna feel so bad to pass up this opener. And even if, it still might not be the comp where you win the lobby with, right? But it will probably get you into the top, 2 or top 3, and that's still a good, solid, start to the night. It really goes, player to player, though. Some players wouldn't take this route, even though it was kind of gifted to them. But Admiral Zhao is taking it. Will they continue with it, though? That is the question, because you still can pivot out of it. It's not like, you're locked in right now. This is a good early game start. You're going to kill some units because of this upgraded Kha'Zix, and might even kill one more. Yes, he does. And is still making econ, so no matter what, a good start.
The hard part about this, though, is that the comp that we're seeing on the board could sneak a win, depending on if, like, you go up against someone who's also trying to lose streak.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 tier 2 units, right? So if we want to continue to lose streak, that's actually going to be moderately difficult as we actually pick up another Kha'Zix as we move over to another Fight Night vet, Gremlin, who also has some Dawnbringer units. Kha'Zix really wanted to come to the party.
Kha'Zix really thought he was missing out something. He probably put himself on the list, forged his name on there. So I really want to get in. And a Thieves Glove slam early, which we don't usually see, because gloves in this recent meta for the past few patches have been very highly prioritized for other items, be the, like IEs or Hodges. Hodges have a lot of staying power on AD and AP compositions, but an early TG slam means that I think Gremlin just wants to win streak here. And with the upgraded Kha'Zix and the upgraded Aatrox, I think this very well could be a 5 streak into Krogs.
Thieves Gloves slam early on should always mean I want to win. Because you're going to have more items than everyone else, because you're only going to be able to get those 3 components at the beginning. So we get to have a little bit more with that needlessly large rod, and have a little bit more freedom on where that bow goes. But putting 2 of those crit gloves away is pretty difficult, because, like you said, a lot of comps use them, whether it be AP or AD, as we have a perfect Draconic pack if you were playing it the whole time. But unfortunately for Gremlin, we weren't, and we have to really think about things, because there are a lot of Kha'Zixes is just on the field right now on the convergence.
Kazai. That doesn't sound good.
It's probably like Moose. It's probably something boring like Kha'Zix again.
Yeah, I think it actually would be.
Kha'Zix.
Ooh, Papa Lev with a potential misfortune reroll. So maybe we have some multiple. Game 1 of last week, right? There was like absolutely no reroll, and then we started getting more reroll as the night went on, and more Draconic and stuff like that too. I wonder if that kind of trend is here to stay. Maybe. Will the misfortune actually win this round? It will. So Gremlin, even though they slammed the Thieves Gloves, does not continue this streak. That must be a little bit frustrating to try to handle. At least they're making 10 gold, but might be punished a little bit for that early TG slam.
Yep. Why, if you want to lose, you should just not throw the Thieves Gloves on.
Yeah, they definitely didn't want to lose.
Like, that is
definitely wanted to
win. But if you want to win, that's a great idea. And unfortunately, we matched up against someone else who was better. Sometimes in the early game, your board's just better than the others, because it's pretty predictable on whether you're going to win a round or not.
It was a positioning diff, actually. They positioned the right side, the misfortune was left side. So if Gremlin positioned left side, definitely would have won the round. And that's unlucky, we could say. Not sure if Gremlin exactly scouted out all the matchups, because in the early stages of the game here, there still is, potential 6 matchups or like 5 matchups that you could have faced there instead of the usual 3 once we get, like past stage 2. So you just got to play to your outs, right? Like, oh, if 3 people are on the right-hand side, 2 people on the left, you want to go right-hand side, right? You play to the numbers. Just unfortunately.
In love with that shirt. Anyway. Sorry.
Nice
yeah,
shirt.
yeah, I love stuff like that. Anyway, we get the Warmogs on the horse in the front line. This is the dark horse. Get it? Like Katy Perry.
I see it.
That was a real song. That if y'all want to really take your mental for a loop, listen to the rap in that song, like, and listen to the words, and thank me for it later, because it'll make your day. Anyway, Warmogs on the horse, very, very good. Starting at high health, which gives you more of an opportunity to regain that health, as you see it working out almost perfectly right now for this Hecarim. And all that is giving this Misfortune time, and a time it does get, as this should be this should be an easy win after the Thresh goes there. Jedi Mind Tricks, unfortunately, I believe, opened with a couple 8ths last time they were here. So already starting off a little bit stronger than previous fight nights.
Yeah, that is true. Not often do you get a chance for redemption kind of this quickly after bottoming out in a fight night. They did have one good placement. Jedi Mind Tricks had a 3rd amongst the 8ths, but they're definitely going to come into this week and want to, just kind of prove themselves, maybe show a bit of redemption in these lobbies. So be kind of eagerly anticipating and awaiting what kind of comps, how they're going to form their board, things like that. But for now, still on Papa Lev, who has a fantastic opener, by the way. Of course, the Warmogs on the Hecarim, you mentioned, one of the best things. But Dim Dan Sum has a Yasuo 2 on stage 2 at level 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, because sometimes you just hit, and you just get a really strong unit, and you just get a really strong unit. And it looks like it could potentially be enough here.
Oh, it is.
As unfortunately for our friend Papa Lev, we're gonna have to.
Unless?
Unless?
Wait.
Wow.
What?
Wow. Thrilling. Go back to Papa. All right, Dim Dan Sum here. Oh, look at that little shark in the back. Look at how sick this room is, by the way. Anyway.
Oh, a little Aegon shark there.
Yeah. I got some nice jerseys.
Oh, there's 2 sharks, actually. There's one on the left and right.
Oh, look at that. I gotta love, what is it in filming? The rule of thirds?
Rule of thirds, yeah.
Right?
I don't learn that, yeah.
All right. Let's see if these Krugs have any shot against Dim.
No. No. It's been a while. Actually, the other day when I was playing a PvE game, I saw someone lose to all 3 Krugs, and I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
What were they doing?
Kind of, unfortunate. I like open forwarding the rich get richer augment, trying to really milk it for all it's worth, and yeah.
That's the thing about PvE is you get to test extremes, right?
True.
What is Antarctica and what is the sun? You will experience both on the PvE. And what's actually really interesting too is it's kind of like that on ladder right now on live, because you've got a lot of people who are like plat 198 LP that are really trying to push into that next and try harding really hard, and then you've got other people who are like, it's the end of the season, I made plat, these are free games, right? All wild. All in the same lobby, and they've actually been hyper entertaining to watch. So hopefully we get a little bit of the same here, because this Yasuo should be pretty good against most comps. It's notoriously very successful here at Fight Night.
But I mean, these are comps that aren't reroll compositions, but they're both still level 4 at 3-1. What is happening? That's a little interesting, to say the least. But I guess it kind of makes sense for Dim Dan here, because they are making 50 gold with this. They're going to pass the level to 5 next round. And they already have 4 Nightbringer, so synergy is already good. Can maybe consider leveling here. Yeah, so the double level in a turn is actually not something that I've seen happen for like a couple of sets. And I'm sure it wasn't like completely intentional that way, but they still could roll here to find some other good units, right? Because I think the argument to rolling until 30, but I guess you can play 3 Skirmisher. It's not terrible. Dim Dan still gonna be satisfied with that board state.
Jive and Thrive coming up. The only reason why I know what a jive is because of So You Think You Can Dance. A really great reality competition that makes you really sometimes look at your own body like, what did I do wrong?
Can you dance?
Yeah, I'm actually, my hips always tell the truth. I'm actually
Ooh.
not lying on that one. I'm a pretty
I'm
phenomenal
jealous.
dancer. No cap,
Oh,
no cap.
no cap.
Yeah.
Get into the lingo, the TFT lingo. No
Look at that.
cap,
No cap.
as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm 30. Okay, so
It's alright, I couldn't tell. You're not a day over 23, Boop, I swear.
Jive and Thrive now looking pretty good here. 3 Hellion is a great start, but that's going to have to move into something else a little bit later. We've got the Spellweaver buffs too. This is probably one of the more open kind of comps that you can ask for, but it's going to go AP. Whenever you build the blue buff, it is an AP item.
Yeah, it is an AP item. You can make some considerations, I suppose, to go an AD board and kind of put Viego in there and then blue buff the Viego, but there already is the Karma on the bench. And wow, okay, I was going to say Jive and Thrive is very rich, so could definitely go level 7 on 3-5, but is he going to do that on 3-3? Not many times will you see players go to 7 before the stage 3 carousel, but Jive and Thrive is trying to keep this win streak going. The unit quality that they placed in, they placed in a Kennen, I think, for the 4 Hellion. Not bad, and will be perhaps good enough, yes, it will be, to win this round as well. Well, they sell the Karma to make Econ. So maybe not a Karma direction, but, I mean, that was the thing that would have lined up very well with the blue buff. I wonder what direction Jive and Thrive was thinking about now.
I wonder, and go on this journey with me. If we are like, hey, we probably are really fast at level 7, right? We're the only one right now. So I'm just going to throw this Karma out because I'm going to have first dibs on all 4 costs next round anyway. And fingers crossed we pick up the Vel'Koz or Karma on that next round. And, you know, we're going to get a needlessly large rod out of this carousel if we need it, which would be a Hextech Gunblade. Oh, that
Unlucky.
is unfortunate.
Another tier? Nope.
Happy
2-cost
birthday.
bow or a 1-cost vest. Pick your poison. Giant Slayer could be built here. Still not bad. And I think actually there's a very real possibility of what I was kind of alluding to, with you could just throw a blue buff on Viego and go something like a Draven, especially with that Titans and that Giant Slayer. Those are good Draven items. We will see. For now, KJ has a Jewel Gauntlet Draven.
Yep. KJ, a couple of my favorite letters. Yeah, good letters, good solid letters.
Feel that.
Yeah, but we've got the Ionic Spark on the Nunu, which is a really cool item. It's going to look a little different in the next set. Something art has changed. It's a crown, which I learned because of the next set. But what the Ionic Spark is going to do is it weakens you to magic damage while also causing a little bit of it as well. So things like Nunu can benefit from it. Say, you know, it was going to be 100 away from, you know, a full eat. Now with the Ionic Spark plus the Sunfire, it's going to be pretty nice. Because look at the damage, you know?
Yeah. That Nunu damage is pretty nuts. I think some of that true damage was the consume. But now we get 3-6. We got a Radiant Armory, or at least one of our 2 Radiant Armories. And this Draven, you know, not often does Draven do a cosplay of other people because he's just so vain of a unit himself. But he is kind of doing a Vel'Koz cosplay right now with a Shojin and a Jewel Gauntlet. And Hextech Lifeblade is a perfect item to round out the 3 if you're going to Vel'Koz, which of course the Ionic Spark Slam does allude to it. I wonder what the hesitation here is from picking up the Lifeblade.
It's Halloween, remember everybody. So we're doing a little bit of costuming on the Convergence right now with that Draven. The Hextech Lifeblade, you know, should be a part of it. Maybe we were just waiting for scouting purposes because we weren't really going to be rolling anyway. We pick up an Ivern though, which is a really nice pickup. Just in general, if you're ever lost in TFT, just pick up a couple Revenants and build around those guys. But yeah, we're starting to get some Jax play and some Riven as well. And without this A-bomb, this would have been a lot harder, but we should be good to go as Gremlin does fall. Abomination going to take the dub. And, you know, the thing about the Draven here is we're not wasting AP. At least we're using some of it when it comes to the lifesteal too. So not the worst AP item holder. Especially at this point in the game when a Draven might actually be a little bit better than a Vel'Koz just on like a single unit basis, right?
Definitely. Yeah, this Draven is actually still doing work. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage in these fights. But now KJ has to think, how is this transition going to work out? The Leona wasn't really giving any synergies, so you can take her out, sure, for the Ivern. The thing is, KJ doesn't have a ton of gold to work with. Even if they level to 7 to roll down, they wouldn't really have that much gold in order to, find everything. They still need to get more Revenants, still need to, get the Sejuani out of here and get, maybe could go more Spellweavers as well. Could go like the Lux and the Syndra, of course, for the 3 redeemed. They're actually going to level and then just play the Invoker, which I do like. Oh, and now they get the Fiddle over the Callista. Well, you can put the Callista back in because she does give Legionnaire for the Draven.
And then all that AP is actually going to be better. So, a lack of intention on that roll, personally. If that Fiddlesticks didn't get rolled into you, this probably doesn't happen. We probably stop on that first roll. But hey, it all is going to work out, and the Cavaliers aren't going to like things like this, Nunu, because the damage mitigation doesn't really matter. This Draven also going to get some benefit from this AP now. Just a little bit, especially since we're tagged with the healing. But we have the Rangers in the backline. It's so funny that you said Draven was doing cosplay, then used the word vain in that as well. That was some good wordsmithing.
I didn't actually even intend that. It's just Draven is a very very vain kind of person. He would never cosplay somebody else. He is Draven.
He wouldn't give anyone the pleasure of Draven cosplaying as them. That's how it goes. As we move over to Sherbat, who was one of our Draconic players last time around, seems like we maybe thought about it with the Ashe on the field, but we don't need to do it because we've got some interesting itemization here, especially with the Rascal's gloves.
This is actually so interesting. This board from Sherbat, like Ashe 2, Vayne 2, you'd basically never see this board, actually, or like anything close to it. Like if you have 4 Cavs, sure, but like running an Ashe 2 without Draconic and then a Vayne 2 as your carries, this is really interesting. But it's working out very well for Sherbat, right? She's at 72 HP, is on a 2 streak, and might even win some of these rounds as well. Potentially, maybe not, because that is a pretty strong misfortune on their side, but the potential is there.
There's definitely a good amount of potential here, especially if we're able to get an Ashe 3. I don't know if, Vayne is going to be on the menu for that much longer. We have an extra one on the bench, maybe to sell to make Econ a little later, but we sell the Jax. That's not going to be able to fit in. We could have put a Cap Spat on the Jax, which is pretty good.
That too. It was a triple Riven drop right there too. That could have been actually a bit of a better item holder. Potentially, but Jax with good Cav Spat, similar, it's like Yasuo, like these melee carries of Cav Spat are one of the most dominant things in the game. So giving up that opportunity, not sure that I love, but also I guess the items aren't great for him anyway. Between the Rageblade and the Hodge, Hodge maybe okay, Rageblade a bit less so. Sherbat, as always, doing a really good job of scouting though, wanting to hit something with the Zephyr.
And you bring up a really good point. Sherbat scouts way more than most people, probably on the side of what you're supposed to be doing. Especially
you say very timidly.
Yeah, I do it all the time too.
Oh yeah, wow, nice.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm world's best scout. I do have my Cub Scout badge. I could show off.
There you go.
All the Eagle Scouts. Any Eagle Scouts in the chat? Said probably for the first time on Twitch. But yeah, 50 HP. Not any amount of scouting is going to help you beat that Yasuo in that situation. If there's anything that's good against Cavaliers, it's again something like Nunu, or it's like that true damage, right? And that true damage is going to be able to eat right through. And we lose the tiebreaker on the 50 HP here, so we get to pick second. We pick up the Ivern and the sword.
All right, not bad. The sword wanting more AD items. Maybe could consider a crazy pivot with like a Shojin, Hodge, Rageblade. Wouldn't be great, but wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Strive and Thrive has hit Stimmy. Let's see what it is. Have not forgotten about it. It's a tome and a bunch of gold. Okay, that's pretty big. See if they pop the tome right now, or if they want to continue transitioning, because this board still has a long way to go, it looks like, before it gets to an optimal state. This also could be Jewel Gauntlet IE for something like a Karma or a Teemo. Yeah, definitely pausing right now. Oh, never mind. It's going to be a Jax with a BT. Aw, man, I wanted to see the blue buff dual gauntlet IE Teemo.
Man.
It will be a Karma instead, it looks like. So yeah, we come back to Karma.
That was a little bit of a roll down, wasn't it? We spent a lot of gold. We spent a good amount of gold. We're going to be able to make some of it back because of our 4 cost units. And we end up with the Karma at the end of the day. Yeah. The first Soul Flare, which still, I hope, becomes the next like KDA band, because Soul Flare sounds amazing as a band.
I like that, actually.
I know, right? It'll be like, I don't know what kind of group it would be. It just needs to be existing, but yeah, it's not going to help here. We do find the Jax too, and we're still kind of stuck in the middle of a couple decisions right now, especially since the Karma items and the Karma itself don't really belong in this comp right now.
Yeah, this I'm kind of dizzy looking at this board. A lot of things do have to happen to get this into a proper state. Like, we have Fortnite Jax right now, but now no skirmishers, and we have the items. Like, honestly, just sell the Karma, put it on Viego, and call it a day, right? Like, this Karma has no Dawnbringer. She's only tier 1. I don't really think that it's, going to be pulling its weight, but maybe I'll be proved wrong. I'm still sticking with the Karma.
Yeah, late pivot into Fortnite Jax. We're getting the 3 Ironclads, and this Karma is pretty much throwing air. It's an air cannon.
Yeah.
Instead of an actual ultimate. This Jax, though, super, super strong. So even without the Karma, we probably would have been fine. Whoa, look at this Vayne go, though. The Karma actually doing a little bit of work there, and the Vayne making things pretty interesting. I wonder if we rolled a little bit harder, if we were sure about in the early game and got a Vayne 3, if this 4 Cav 2 Ranger comp would be as worthwhile as it hasn't been so far, because that Vayne can show some promise, and we still have a tome here. Maybe we were waiting to pick an Invoker through the tome by putting the Karma on the board, but it's still going to be here for at least another round, because it's time for some chicken.
Time for some chicken. Let's see what the item drops for them are going to be. Probably waiting and doesn't want to slam the Last Whisper quite yet, but okay, no items, so Last Whisper time it is. But 5-1. Let's give him the Radiant Armory.
Yikers.
Glamorous Gauntlet is interesting for the Karma. Guardian Angel is very good, I would say, for the Jax.
Anything defensive is good on Galio, as you see a lot of people popping their items off now, getting into their final pivots. Jedi Mind Tricks did just pick up a Galio too.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. A second Radiant Redemption, though. Okay, interesting. We'll have to check in with that a bit later, but for now, we're moving over to Jedi Mind Tricks, who has pivoted into Aphelios with some actually really good items. Fully itemized Ukshan and Aphelios and a Banshee's Claw. The thing is, the front line is very poor. There's no really way around that. No items on the Galio. He has a Galio 2, but only an Iron 1 and Lee Sin 1 to pair along with him. Not great.
Ooh, good Diana ult, though, in the back line. A lot of potential on this comp, but when are we going to be able to reach it? The Ukshan already at that 25, though, on that Titans. It's going to be really nice on that shred with these Cavaliers of Sherbat. Going to have kind of a similar issue as our last player, which is a little lack of a direction. Anyone with a tome still on their bench doesn't quite know what they're doing just yet, or is looking a little bit too far into the future, because we've lost a lot of potential value out of it, and at 19 and 13 HP, it might have just been worth using it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they want to make sure they formulate a board that they know they're going to get good traits that they actually want. So, I mean, there is the argument for holding it for a pretty long time. They definitely would have gotten some value before, and maybe would have preserved some HP. And if we look at this lobby, especially, from even Gremlin down, like, the HP is pretty close with our bot 5. Invoker is a pickup, and I mean, 4 Invoker is actually really good with Aphelios, and we are 3 Aphelioses away from a T3 Aphelios, so I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing here from Jedi Mind Tricks.
I do too. I mean, Aphelios is one of the always a bridesmaid as we look over at Admiral Zhao, the tier 3 Nocturne, which hasn't been here in forever. Jose, is that you? As it's going to be Admiral Zhao this time around, and this was a kind of like, remember Admiral Zhao had like the perfect Chugbug comp start.
Yeah.
Earlier on, it seems like we just went into assassins, which I think was the right choice, especially if we're not used to piloting something like Chug Jug, piloting something like assassins. Everyone kind of knows what's going to Nocturne, so we're going to be able to hopefully climb even higher on this leaderboard. As we're in the top 3, we could potentially end up winning this lobby, depending on how good we are against Dimdan Sum there at the top.
Yeah, Dimdan, only player on a win streak at 74. As I don't want to say a security top 4, but very likely to from this position. Itemization losing the last round, rolling a bit more. Dyna 2, still a big upgrade that we could find. Scouting around. Yeah, there's a Nocturne 3. Nocturne 3 is still very scary, even though we don't really see assassins play that much recently.
You know, it might be good in this particular lobby, especially against things like this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right? You know, it tends to do well against things like this. Karma, that Jive and Thrive is still running, that turned into, I think the tome turned into a knight emblem to get the 4th
it looks like it.
Knight double
And
redemption Sunfire on the
Wait, no,
Galio.
So yeah, knight?
This is this I think might be 6 knights.
Yeah, it looks like. I was like, oh, can take out the Poppy and stuff, but no, it's. I mean, it's really good against Jedi Mind Tricks because it's a hard counter, actually, because they're running the Rangers. 6 Knights actually just can't deal, 2 Rangers can't deal damage to 6 Knights.
Yep, you know, like I said, never the bride, always the bridesmaid. Unfortunately, at this wedding, someone took the bouquet from our hands, and we ended up in, yeah, exactly. It was almost an NFL play. For everyone except Jedi Mind Tricks here sitting in 8th plate. Sherbat is on the brink of elimination. So is Jive and Thrive. If someone pops in with a Giant Slayer or Yasuo, things are going to be pretty hard for Jive and Thrive, even with those 6 knights. True damage is true damage, no matter who you are.
Very, very true. But we know it is going to be good against the, or decent against the Assassins as well. Sure, Assassins hit less frequently than Rangers, but a little bit harder. So not all the damage will be blocked by the Knights. Admiral Zhao still rolling down. Has found 3 Revenants. Does not have an Assassin emblem, though, which is pretty key for this composition. Does have some good items for the Garen. Only a Garen 1, however. And is not positioned into the Karma, at least with the Nocturne, but he is going to be into the Jax.
This usually is a Nocturne easy win. Yeah. This is where a Nocturne can get kind of stopped up, is this double redemption Gallia. But if that was a Rose Thorn, or Rose Hip Thornwood, or the Radiant Thornmail, it would be even harder to get through this Gallia. So this is going to work out just fine for our Knight player. But
yeah, took out the Jax, but nothing else.
This is just one of those comps, right, that like is countered by an item. Everyone already has their items, though, so it might have to be a little bit later, as Admiral Zhao might get their Assassin Totem emblem at this point.
True.
Right now.
Let's see. Oh, gets Revenant, which is pretty good, but it's not Assassin emblem level good. Yeah, unfortunate.
5 Revenant, though. It's been a hot minute since we've seen that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have helped on that last round at all.
No.
So we're definitely hoping that someone else takes down Jive and Thrive. Things like the Akshan could have, because of the inherent Last Whisper. Draven might be able to do it as well, depending on what those builds are, as the Nocturne in the backline is going to be able to get the Misfortune. So there's pretty much no more damage remaining for a Papalev right now. And this should be a Nocturne win, even with this tier 3 Hecarim, who's going to be doing a lot of damage here. Oh, look at this.
Wait a minute.
The Hecarim might actually end up taking it.
The Diana actually griefed. It pulled the Hecarim into the Nocturne. Although with 5 Revenant, yeah, you do res with 70% health, so I was able to win the round. But that was a lot closer than it perhaps, should have been, looking at that.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're still at 50
Thrive
gold,
goes out as well.
Okay, so that's our 6 Knight composition out of here. No, and so that's going to be really nice for all of our auto attack based compositions. But this reroll comp looks like it can work out pretty well. We just need to get this Misfortune to tier 3. We're 2 away, 1 away if you're counting the Nikos.
Yep. 5 loss streak actually. So this comp was super good in the mid game. Just once we hit stage 5. Was not working without the Misfortune 3. There's a lot of gold there. Certainly we're going to be able to find Misfortune 3 here. I say, and hopefully don't jinx it. Okay, there we go. We just Nico, level up, play the 4th knight, and this composition is very, very strong.
We're going to try to get our Gwen somehow. Gwen, we saw carry Gwen last week, and I've been obsessed ever since.
Yeah, I love it.
We're gonna do a quick switch over. Papa Lev showing exactly his facility
into the shroud
on the keyboard. Unfortunately, they were racing to get mana reaved, and this is a Yasuo 3. Oh, and a beautiful Diana getting almost the entire team. The Draven in the back line has already been taken down, but it's going to be Yasuo getting through these Ironclads like their hot knife through butter. Papa Lev is going to take down that team.
Don't you hate it when you make a nice looking fancy play and it ends up just being bad? Like Papa Lev with the swap over. It's like, oh, okay, the mechanics, good swap. Oh, right into Diana, right into the shroud. Actually, that sucked.
Hashtag Kale.
True.
We haven't seen at all.
Good.
So far today. I think a couple people tried to prove me wrong last week and didn't. So
didn't. Let's leave it there.
Forever 6th. My sixth place fantasy with Kale. But yeah, now let's see if we're gonna stay on this side. It looks like we are. Hopefully we don't get shrouded or zephyred.
No
Neither gonna be
no Diana
on the other
either.
side. Yep. Gremlin, though, on 1 HP and a Dream, already looking pretty rough, especially with that Thresh hook going both ways. So that the Thresh is going to be taken out of each other and nothing else. It's going to be Jax versus the world here. And with this Misfortune and it's Make It Rain, it's going to be some acid rain right now going towards a Gremlin who has to go back to the bridge and think of some trivia questions.
It is still top 4, though. Not bad, but we have our Admiral Xiao, who had a nuts opener, is now on Assassins. Papa Lev with the Misfortune reroll, so it turned out to be a reroll composition for Xiao. And actually, Dim Sun has the Yasuo, so we have three cost reroll compositions in our top 3.
Usually this is the lobby of AP, but today it's going to be the reroll compositions as our 3 remaining players all scouting out the single board right here, hanging out with Papa Lev. We're going to do a slow change over, and we're going to get a nice shroud on our side. Unfortunately, Nocturne does not have mana, but the Viego is going to get stopped up here, which is actually interesting because if that was a Viego 2, they would have actually gotten to cast after the CC. So thank goodness that wasn't a Viego 2, as it's going to be Nocturne 3 going down pretty easily against this Misfortune comp. And we're really seeing how Assassins have been affected by all of the Nocturne changes over 3 or 4 patches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these fights from the Assassin player from Admiral Xiao still can be won with optimal positioning. It is hard to, though, as there's a lot of things that players can do. Papa Lev's comp specifically to kind of clump up and not allow the Nocturne access. Misfortune can take him out. And then again after the Revenant. And now, we finally got Stimmy from Dim Dan. And nothing really good here. I mean, we could go 3 Skirm, I guess. But Skirm Emblem is literally the worst item in the game. Not even capping.
Not even capping. You see, I sounded way cooler than you when I said it. No cap.
I know you did. You're so hip. I'm so
yeah, I know, right? So who's going to be the next to have to go to the Mall of America? Is it going to be Admiral Zhao or is it going to be Papa Lev? 15 and 14 HP respectively. Dim Dan Sum at the top, starting to lose out a couple rounds in a row, trying to get back to 50 gold to try to hit level 9. Both players level 8 right now, and I'm seeing a lot of forgotten units still. This Misfortune finding a lot of purchase against Dim Dan Sum, 6 HP, and now everything is 1 round and you're out. We could get a double elimination here, depending on how big an elimination is, but this is going to be it for a lot of these players.
Yeah, and he's rolling for so much. I think skipped a Lee Sin there, but is rolling for, what, Sejuani 3, Lee Sin 3? There's Lee Sin there. No, passes in again. Dim Dan's feeling the pressure right now. And is maybe not going to hit anything? There's another Lee Sin. Okay, are we going to find it? No Diana 3, no Rel 3, no Lee Sin 3, absolutely nothing, Boo.
Absolutely nothing. Um, it's the same reaction I get when I ask my dad what he's proud of.
That was way too sad. I was not ready for that.
Absolutely
Oh
nothing. No,
no.
I'm just kidding around. The Lee Sin is gonna get these gloves here. Dimdansum is going to fall victim at least to this Nocturne, but
Oh, wait.
not for long. Too much lifesteal initially on
Uh,
that Yasuo, but Revenant is one of the biggest things about Revenant is not the fact that you come alive, it's the fact that you lose aggro when you die, and then you come back, and things like this Nocturne are able to take you down. As this is going to end up being a 1v1 here in round
yeah.
7-1.
You could see the frustration on Dimdan's face after that elimination. They had such an HP lead, were set up so well to find at least some 3 stars, and honestly, that fight was kind of close, so the Lee Sin 3 that we skipped out on could have actually made the difference. Dimdan kind of had his fate in his own hand, and honestly, kind of just like threw it away.
Okay, so we do have, I guess, some money to roll. What are we even rolling for? 64 gold for Papa Lev. That's enough to not go to the next round. I actually need 2 more gold, as I did some quick maths in my head. 5 Revenant for Assassin here. Ivern 3. Wait until you see Daisy pop out. That's not going to be your run-of-the-mill Daisy. This Daisy is maybe taking some performance enhancing drugs. I don't know. Yeah. It's a rumor.
10k HP Daisy. I mean, taking something. there's something going on.
Or quarantine really hit Daisy hard. I could see Ivern being really good at cooking. Like Ivern definitely has sourdough starter in its fridge, right? So maybe we're just giving Daisy a little bit of a little bit of time to come through, as you can't even see the health bar. Yeah. Because of so much of it, as that is going to be a win for Admiral Zhao, coming back with a vengeance, taking the dub after winning the whole thing last week.
Winning the whole thing last week, off to a great start here, and didn't even do a chug bug, and I think it was definitely rewarded for pivoting on out of that Kha'Zix. So it's a great item carrier, but you found somebody that you could just replace it, find the Nocturnes, and win the lobby because of it. But going back to Boop, the point of a lot of re-rolling we did see happen in that game. All 3 of our top 3 were centered around 3 cost champions. There was the Nocturne, the Yasuo, and
Misfortune.
Oh, Misfortune, right? The Misfortune for the Forgotten composition. And all of them seemed very, very good. I think that based off of how the lobby went, maybe with some different positioning, or if we got there a bit faster, it could have gone to any one of the 3. But that is an interesting dynamic we have to pay attention to for the rest of the evening, I would say. But let's go ahead and take a look at the scores. Admiral Zhao, of course, won with the Assassins. Papa Lev in second with the Misfortune. And Dimdan with the Yasuo in third. Then Gremlin, KJ, Jive and Thrive, Sherbat, and Jedi Mind Tricks. Unfortunately, 8th to start yet again.
Okay, so Jedi Mind Tricks. The Force is with you, my friend. Okay? We are not on the dark side. We are Jedis. We only use our powers for good, and also we can jump and land from high places, because the high ground is where we want to be. Remember that. As that's a little bit of a tactical education for our friends in chat right now. But what I'm actually really excited about is to kind of see where our returning players from last week are going to go, because we have 2, right? And they're both on opposite sides of the leaderboard right now. I think it's harder to be consistent over a couple weeks, right? I think that's why the 3rd week coming back is so difficult for a lot of people. So, there's always that little extra pressure when you're coming back, right?
Yeah, definitely.
People have noticed, right? And now we're going into a lot of these games as not an unknown anymore, right? We came back from last week. We're already a threat. People may have already been looking at us the way that we're playing in a much more focused kind of way going into this week, and it just gets harder. So that's why these long streaks are so impressive. And hopefully Sherbat, especially with probably the best scouting we see at most fight nights, is able to kind of come back from that. I wonder what happened there, because we were running that moderately cool Vayne Ashe combo for a hot minute, and then ended up getting it 7th.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, I think it was cool. It was, fun, innovative, I think is a key word that some people would say, like, oh, innovative could be really good, but sometimes it's just might as well just play what's, you know, already kind of figured out. It is literally like the end of the set. There are comps that are very good. Sure, how you get to those is going to differ from game to game, and it was good in the early mid game, but maybe Sherbat could have considered pivoting a bit earlier. I think the opportunity was perhaps there, but just didn't take it. Sherbat, obviously, you know, as we've mentioned a couple times already, is one of the best scouters that we have seen at Fight Night. I think out of literally anybody.
Yeah.
Like even the, you know, the Jose Paulos, the Numanos, the Gunmays, like probably, you know, on par or better in terms of scouting and positioning accordingly. It's just the decision making of what's on board. I think there's still some room for improvement, but they were able to get top 3 last week, so there's still some good enough play and good enough intention and good enough recognition there. So I just want to see it be a bit more consistent.
Yep, scouting is only as good as how good you are at identifying important information, right? Because sometimes there's always a risk of putting weight into information that doesn't really matter right now, right? And if you have too much of it, it's harder to filter, right? So I think we're spending a lot of time getting that information, but not necessarily taking the most important parts of that information and applying it to our board, which is why I think that last round, while a super cool comp, right, should 100% have been like a Vayne 3 if we were going that direction. Once we hit that 4th cap spat, that should have been something with an auto attack based champ in the back line, no matter what, in my opinion. So
could have been that Jax.
Exactly. And so maybe going into this one, we kind of go with what we were doing last time, which was, I think we played Draconic 3 out of 4 lobbies, and that totally worked out for us. And we didn't see a single Draconic player that time around. So definitely looking forward to seeing some eggs, right? I'm okay with some breakfast later at night.
True. I mean, it's always even since college, sometimes I did some breakfast at night stuff, and since then I've been addicted. Maybe some 5 a.m. bacon, you know, we're here for it.
I had the best breakfast sandwich today. I have been thinking about it for like the last almost 10 hours. So, you know, sometimes American cheese, like processed American cheese, just tastes so good. On like the right thing. I don't know what it is. I like cheese as much as the next person, but man,
some cheese
on certain sandwiches that it's not even called cheese, they're cheese food on the label. It's just like perfect. Admiral Zhao now looking at a moderately good front line with this Poppy, who is in that next set, who I also wanted to bring up because I love the direction they're taking, who does damage based on how much armor they have, which I think is so cool. And it gives Poppy a little bit more flexibility in play. So not a reprint, if you watched that video. Not a reprint. As we're probably going to be seeing a good amount of Yordles to start on the new set. But we're still here on this set. You know my feeling on Yordles.
I know. I was gonna say, that just reminds me of how much like actually right-clicking and reading of the unit text, because I just learned something from what you just said there. Like I still don't know what like some of these units actually do, but you know, they're still a lot of fun. And Yordles are back, Boop. So yeah, what are your feelings on them for those who don't know?
Every time a Yordle gets popped like a pimple on the convergence, an angel is born. In the real world, Yordles for some reason just get to me. I think it's if I was a character in the game, I would be a Yordle, and I think I'm just like pushing against and like rebelling. You know, like Mom, you don't know me. You don't.
Yeah.
So, but at least they're not dodging. Right, that was probably the most maddening part about the initial introduction of Yordles. You just get free Yordles now. And Admiral Zhao going to continue this opening round hot streak. I don't remember the last time I've seen Admiral Zhao lose that first round. We definitely starting off pretty strong. As for Sherbat, we leveled up definitely to try to win out on that last round. And this is a little unfortunate because it's not guaranteed that we win out on the next one.
Not guaranteed, but Skirmisher Sentinel Opener is very good. Unfortunately, it just has only tier 1 units. There was a couple of options, I think, for items there. It could have been a Titan's Resolve, could have been a Runans, which perhaps is a little bit less flexible. But a Gargoyles is going to be probably the most flexible item out of those 3 choices. Don't really want to combine anything with a tier right now. There's so many better options for that tier. Is it going to be enough? Perhaps not. Dimdan has a pretty strong comp here.
We've got the Yasuo again. Yasuo did pretty good on that last lobby. Got second. Misfortune was a nice little competitor. as Yasuo one, not as good, especially without any of those items. It's going to be the Callista that is the scariest unit on the board, even though it might not feel that way. The Callista is going to be producing a lot more here at this part of the game until that Yasuo becomes Yasuo 2 at least. We already have the stone plate for the Irelia. Once that Irelia gets that ult off, that's going to be a big tank, but again, only tier 1 units, and we're going to have to do some shenanigans to try to get to 10 gold, because we lost that last round, right? So not guaranteed that we win out this next round, especially on the third round here. And at this point, I kind of think we should lose out. So, you know, to push a little bit more of a streak, because the last thing you want to do is alternate wins and losses here in the early game.
Yeah, one loss feels really bad. This composition is kind of, you know, just middling power level, though. Probably is going to lose here. I would imagine the Hellions with like tier 2 Cluds and Ziggs are very, very strong. I think it should be Hellion favored against Drive and Thrive, but even Drive and Thrive has lost round as well, 92 HP. Maybe the Olaf will be able to lifesteal enough, but nope. Ziggs takes it down. It is a close fight, closer than I maybe anticipated. However, yeah, so we'll go over to Drive and Thrive.
We're thriving over here, folks, as Drive and Thrive gonna melt that Sherbat a little bit. Not a ton of a loss there. At least we didn't get wiped. So we're actually... Too bad we didn't get wiped, because we probably would have competed for first pick on the carousel at 88 HP. That was one unit plus a Yordle that probably could have gotten us down there. But we're going to have to pick second anyway. We have a tier on the bench that could become a lot of different things. Definitely intrigued to see where that's eventually going to be going, as we're going over to Jedi Mind Tricks, trying to maintain the high ground here in 4th place. And has a couple Rangers in the back line. This could definitely become a KO comp, by the way, everyone.
No.
So let's see what happens here.
Ooh, Nidalee Riven in the shop as well. Actually, we could just get out of these Rangers right now and not bait ourselves into a potential Kale pivot, and maybe have a better board. All these things sound very good. But this board isn't bad right now. I think there is probably a lot of pressure on Jedi Mind Tricks, because their last performance, it was featured 3/8, and this week starting with an 8th as well. It must be, you know, kind of demoralizing. So it's gonna be really telling to see if Jedi Mind Tricks can recover from here and have a good game number 2, because you are not doomed if you get an 8th, right? We say this time and time again. Some of the players who even win out Fight Nights, if not just top 3, start or end with an 8th. You're not doomed.
No, not at all. We went through a couple consecutive weeks where first place got last place at some lobby at some point. So it is definitely worth never letting your mental die, because last week we had a very close one where I believe a couple people in the top 4 actually got an 8th place. So again, it's never over. We've definitely seen some self-fulfilling prophecies happen, but Jedi Mind Tricks definitely trying to avoid it, as Varus, I think, one of the better tier 1 carries that we don't see enough of. A lot of times it's just a temporary carry, but we'll see what happens. I remember one of the first Fight Nights on this set, we saw a Varus Akshan comp that was awesome, and then never saw it again. Yeah, so right. Maybe we'll get to see something cool here, as this redeemed Ranger comp should be, you know, a Ranger type of situation for a bit. We don't have any AP, so this isn't going to go Vel'Koz anytime soon.
No, and a very early Banshee's claw slam from Papa Lev, but the defense is great. You block a spell, but you blocked a Syndra throwing things into the corner. Varus still did a lot, actually. Got 5-0'd there. 70 HP, Papa Lev. Is farming Draconic Eggs, however. Not bad. Maybe we'll see a 5-turn 5 Draconic Egg. Those always are hype.
Are they organic?
Last week, I believe. Are they organic? Probably.
Asking the important questions. If I can't get it at Whole Foods, then it's not good enough for me. You know there are people out there like that. That's good.
Yeah, true. I actually, for
the
first few years of my life, or maybe like first like 8, I was raised on just like only organic food. And then it got too expensive. So
so 3 doors down from me, there's a one of my neighbors actually has chickens, and I have to say that those eggs taste way better than the ones at the store, and they're way bigger, and they're blue. I didn't know.
Wow,
yeah, some of them were like this like baby blue color, which I looked up and was normal. But if anyone in chat knows why, that would be fun to know. But yeah, we're going back over to Jive and Thrive, who had a pretty sick 6-night comp last time around, but locked it in a little late. I think if we had even 2 more rounds of HP, we probably top 4 that lobby. Unfortunately, we rock, paper, scissored our way out. But this is looking AP already in the back line, but we have the Bloodthirster in the front line in the second row right now. So a couple different options. We can still go Jax. We can still go Karma. There's still no significant, like, kind of concrete way right now, especially with that kind of naked rod there on the Ziggs, making things a little complicated.
Sunfire Slam as well, trying to preserve the streak, also with going level 6 as well, and will preserve the streak. 92 HP. Only lost first couple rounds of the game, or maybe just one round. Could have gotten 4-0'd. Kled is a very, very good item holder. We know that for sure. Even if you're not, rerolling Kled, you did get nerfed, so people don't reroll him as much anymore. Still very, very solid to get you into that level 7, level 8 territory.
Sometimes you can get even a little bit more value depending on how late front lines are getting developed. Against things like Kled. So, like, for example, if this was like a tier 1 Gragas and the other one remained, the new remained tier 2, you're going to find a little bit more value out of that Kled, especially with this itemization specifically. And Jedi Mind Tricks hasn't really improved this comp at all since the last time we saw them, but did lose out pretty big on the last round. So let's see if we're going to be able to take down any more units. And this is exactly what we were talking about in terms of lobby specific, right? This Kled still there, no problem at all.
And, their level 6 didn't roll down, and they're beating Jedi Mind Tricks, who also level 6, but it's like 20 gold behind. Maybe rolled a bit, I'm not sure. I think if they didn't, they should have, at least to find the Vars too, or find some upgrades, because there was a couple of pairs on the bench. Rolling on 3-2 to stabilize is very, very important. Players should probably do it a bit more than they, have been on average. I think, knowing when to roll down is a very, very hard skill to actually perfect in TFT in general. It varies from game to game, but this game, I'm going to say probably was time to do a bit more.
Well, it's actually pretty crazy because, like, there are situations where I am, like, in a fugue state and I look down and I've rolled 30 gold, right? At, like, the very end of a game when maybe you've given up mentally, right? And you just roll because...
Yeah, that's not the time to do
it.
But...
like a zombie rolling is what I call it. Which is you're rolling just because you have nothing else to do. That's not what we're looking for right now. But when you're doing that roll down, it's so interesting to me that people don't experiment with the timing of that just more often, especially at this point in some sets, because once standards get in place, in my opinion, the next best thing is to learn how to break them, right? And maybe they're standards because of certain situations, but every so often a game will reveal itself to where you have to go a different direction, right? The standard way is not going to be the correct way to go, and why not try something a little out there? So you know what, roll down at a different place and just see what happens, right? You're either going to prove why rolling down at 4-1 or is worthwhile for some people, or you're going to prove that maybe changing the tempo of the lobby actually affects all 7 players, right? And changes the whole lobby because someone or 2 people roll down at a different time. That's how dependent TFT is, because if someone does roll down, people are going to react.
Definitely, 100%. And it could be a kind of ripple effect there, but you got to figure it out. You got to figure out what works and what scenarios and why. A lot to process, but can do it. What can Papa Lev do from this spot? It looks like probably just slam a Shojin on the Zyra. Perhaps go over to a Vel'Koz composition. We have the Nunu, we have some A-bombs potential on the bench as well, and could level to 7, excuse me, here. Would still have 30 plus gold left, which a lot of players will do, especially to maintain the win streak. And Papa Lev does have a 3 streak going on, so I would kind of like to see that, even if it is just playing a Lee Sin, right? That's in the shop, because it would give Nightbringer. It would still provide a bit of utility as well with the attack speed slow. I think I would like to see that level up happen.
Ooh, Ash Arrow. Gonna get sniped to the back line. This Zig's having a little bit of a hard time getting some casts off. This Trap Claw is such an interesting slam still. In my head, because there's really no one hyper benefiting from it. Yeah, we get the Ash ult off, but it's still tier 1, so we were maybe assuming that we would get a little bit quicker, or we'd have a little bit more on the plate right now. These eggs are about to hatch, so
Wow.
and Ash 2 is probably going to be around. Same thing with the set. So now is going to be when our Draconic comp might start taking some dubs, as this is 40 HP on the dot. We have our blessing, our stimmy, if you will, and it's a 4 cost unit and some gold.
Yeah. Also, you know what the difference of that last fight was? It was a level 7 difference. If it was level 7, and Lee Sin was in the comp, it would have been a win. Just some food for thought.
Even if the food is processed American cheese.
Oh no, back to Boop, you're wrong.
Okay,
processed cheese bad.
The production team was harassing me about my like of this cheese, so I'm just gonna put it on record that that cheese food will make the superior grilled cheese. Okay, Gremlin now with that stimmy sells it, so it's going to be just gold. When it comes to 4 extra gold with that Draven along with the other gold. We still have a potential Rage Blade on the bench, which would be good on a lot of our units, especially this Ash right now, but that's not going to stay that way. That's definitely going to be an AP unit, probably Vel'Koz.
I like this Udyr with a blue buff. Why is that there?
Why not?
You know, that's fair. Why not? Hero on Udyr blue buff.
Kled can carry items. Udyr can carry items too.
Draconic eggs. Big if true. Is big. Is true.
Mm-hmm.
He's like looking at it, just hovering over it, being like, what am I going to do with you? I mean, it's in there because Draconic, right? Like, obviously. Oh, is that okay? There we go. We like that. We like to see that. Get the blue buff out of there. Onto the Ash.
So that's definitely going to be a Carbo or a Vel'Koz. Probably Vel'Koz. Especially with this Draconic opening, it easily moves into that direction. We just need an Ivern for the future Heimerdinger, as well as we're seeing Triple D right now. Dim Dan some roll down. Oh, that's a nice pack. We got the Ivern. We're picking up our Brawlers as well, as this is our 3rd player playing Draconic.
Yep. A lot of Draconic. Didn't really have, that many last game. But now we do. Dim Dan 30 gold, 4-1. Did not elect to roll down very aggressively. That's probably okay, I would say. I mean, Zyra 1, though, is going to start falling off. The items are good, but there's only so much carry power a Nunu 1, Zyra 1 can do in stage 4.
Mm-hmm. It's all about this abomination, this monstrous abomination.
Monster abomination.
Yeah, monster abomination. What do you? I hope someone is able to cosplay that for Halloween at Riot. That would be a great costume.
Monstrosity.
Yeah, Jive and Thrive.
A lot of effort, but it'd look pretty sick.
It doesn't matter if it's your 10-year anniversary or not. That little legend's going to take the damage anyway. As Jive and Thrive going to be in 2nd place. This lobby much closer than the last one in terms of HP totals outside of our bottom 2, which is interesting because we have 3 Draconic players, so which are all, I believe, or 2 of them are above our bottom 2 right now. Gremlin, the one struggling the most, probably had the rarer eggs to work with.
Yeah. Looks like Sherbat might be struggling a little bit as well. Has also received the Radiant Blessing and is rolling down a little bit. Find the Nautilus too. Dim Dan scouting, but very fast. Ooh, Admiral Shao on a win streak, on 4 Legionnaire, on a Draven 2 with an IE Runeans on 4-2. Very good. Admiral Shao, good spot for at least a top 4 with that.
Oh, we're getting a Vel'Koz 2 now for Gremlin in 8th place, so that is definitely a comp that you do not want to underestimate. As we get to finally see Sherbat's comp here, as it's going to be the Radiant Rage Blade and the Hand of Justice for the Draven. Not a lot of Hand of Justice that you see on the Draven, but definitely an okay tertiary, secondary item that you want to put on him. Some people don't like it because you're already getting it with Legionnaire, but if we're not going to have a second Legionnaire, having some lifesteal would help, but not help enough, as Sherbat falls down to 8th place. As Gremlin going to be able to take a win? Yes, they do, as they beat Papa Lev as our Draconic players eating HP from each other.
Ooh, Sherbat 11 loss streak, 3 Knight, 3 Forgotten, 3 Legionnaire. These are not numbers you like to see with these trades. Okay, Draven 2. At least we are here. I mean, honestly, it might have just been more efficient in terms of just saving HP and dodging 8th to just slam the last Whisper. Sure, it's not that great on the Draven, but it is going to be a little bit of a benefit. Do some crit as well, and okay, here we go. We take out a Legionnaire. We got 4 Knight online. But 0 gold means that Sherbat has a long way to go to kind of climb out of this this HP deficit, this loss streak deficit.
Ooh, this could be a comp that we might be able to beat, though, especially since we're still running the Varus 2 and a Syndra 1. Nice Thresh Hook, though, but it's going to be all about Draven. That's so Draven, as Draven going to be able to take down that backline, no problem, top frags, and finally get Sherbat a win. Thank goodness, because a loss there would have been very scary.
Yeah, Draven 2 is online, and now the difference has been made. Even gets first priority on this carousel as well. See what item they want for the Draven. Might just be Infinity Edge. Looks like it will be. 5 gold sword on the Akshan. Feels good.
And we need that gold. We definitely need that gold right now.
Recover the economy.
Yeah, we need a stimulus very bad. Unfortunately, we already got one, right? And it was
need the second stimmy.
and that stimmy in particular is more punishing to the like the mid game, the mid tier, and the lower tier players, because it's not a ton of gold, and you do get a unit out of it, but that gold is going to help you depending on how good you are at the game. Right, a lot of the time. How are you going to use that gold, and what context you're going to use that gold in? And it really shows how people think how they're supposed to get to their ultimate power levels. And for Sherbat, it's obviously been a lot of spending, which you're supposed to be doing at level 7 in 8th place, right? But if we want to compete for top 4, we're gonna have to get to level 8 eventually, unless we get this Misfortune 3, which was never the plan. So this is a Draven comp, and it will be for the rest of this lobby. Let's see how long Sherbat's able to hang on, though.
We'll see. The Draven needs to turn its attention to the Akshan in the back, but Akshan is free hitting for now. But he's going to not be targeting the Draven after he spins around again. Oh, actually does. Now, okay, now Draven turns his attention to the Akshan, takes him out easily, and Sherbat gets the win. But one thing that I did notice in that preparation phase from Sherbat is Sherbat was doing a lot of it seems like thinking about the board state. You know, what do I want to run for Forgotten? Or run 4 Knights, and was doing a lot less of what Sherbat's usually really good at, which is scouting. I think she dedicated maybe like 2 or 3 seconds to scouting at the end there, but really didn't have enough time to like process the information and also change positioning with that in mind. So if you're not able even to do what you're traditionally good at in a moment of like, you know, this kind of stressful situation, it's going to be rough for Sherbat to, you know, maybe continue these wins going to stage 5. Needs to save up enough gold to try to go level 8, and then maybe can run 4 Forgotten then. But even still, 4 Forgotten's like not a great synergy. And there also are other Draven boards that are online, like Admiral Shao, who are probably going to be stronger than you soon.
At least we both have a Draven 2. Right, we already have the most important unit, which is that Draven 2, and we're probably going to splash a Kale in here soon for another Legionnaire type of buff for all of our Draven players. That's usually the last one that gets splashed in at the very end to get 4 Legionnaire, for example, which Sherbat is having a little bit of a hard time with right now. We do see that check mark because Draven is Draven, right? And if we position Draven well in the front line, Draven's gonna be able to win that out. So thank goodness for that. And Draven's probably one of the comps that needs you're going to put him in the second row a lot of the time at this point, you know, in the game. It's the scouting is going to be on which side. Most people do like putting him on the left side just in general. But this Draven comp is also online right now, but we only have 3 items on this Draven. We potentially might be able to put a Radiant item on this Draven, which at the end of the day might help this Draven comp over Sherbat's because of that. There's just going to be more power available.
Ooh,
or not.
No.
Yeah,
unfortunate. Really, these
frustrated.
Items. I mean, Rose Thorn is still a good tank item. This Riven will not remain to be, you know, this Warmog's Dragonclaw Riven forever. Jedi Mind Tricks finds Leona 3. Interesting, and yeah, it is gonna be Rose Thorn Vest. I think that is the correct pickup. Wait a minute, Admiral Shao. It's gonna be hard to find Draven 3, given the fact there's already 3 on Sherbat's board.
It's 9 total are out.
Yeah,
at least,
and there's only 12 total in the pool, so you need literally exactly the final 3 in order to get this.
Oh, love this Galio itemization.
Yeah, so strong.
Yeah, so strong. That Dragon's Claw is something that you never really see in Plat and below. But if you ever want to see a Karma commit seppuku on themselves, that is how you do it. I've never seen a Karma not not actually kill themselves off of the Dragon's Claw.
Yeah.
And oh, look, it happened
there
there.
You go. Yep.
With the Vel'Koz. So this is only going to be a 1 HP loss? 2 HP? Okay, there we did get Daisy.
1 HP from units.
Yep.
And the stage 5 damage.
But our streak is gone.
Oh,
which is
we get a 5-2 armory, which is Hodge. We could actually itemize Draven with this. But loaded dice though to find the.
There are no more.
Yeah,
this is okay.
Scouts out. Sherbat says, I'm not getting baited with that one. It's actually just gonna wait until Sherbat dies, probably, because
there's no need.
Yeah, Shao probably is going to last longer than Sherbat in this game. And then you hit Draven 3, win the lobby right there, and go back-to-back firsts. I mean, we see the win condition, we see the play right now, and how Admiral Shao is certainly thinking about it as well.
You know what I would have done? I would have shrugged and picked up the loaded dice.
Oh, no.
You know, and then just been like, oh, wait. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fun. Oh, Jedi Mind Trick sticking with the Varus.
Okay.
3-star Varus there.
Varus 3. Yeah.
A comp name, undetermined. 72 HP at the top, and double Titans on the Jax. I love Titans Resolve. Just as I say it, I think every fight night, it's raw stats just for existing, right? And you get to be big. Look at this.
True.
You know, any Attack on Titan fans probably understand what that's like. Imagine if Jax came over the wall. Probably less terrifying, actually.
Yeah, imagine like Cho'Gath and that's more.
And we leave a couple good units on the bench, so we're committed through and through now. I cannot believe we have 6 Dravens just naturally.
It hit them like very quickly on those rolls. Might consider going up to level 9 before they keep rolling as well, because again they need to wait until Sherbat is eliminated. But Sherbat actually has kind of climbed a lot of the way back up and is still winning on stage 5 with 27 HP. Has gone to 8, I believe, at this point, and is currently in the top 4. Barely, but is in the top 4.
Okay. I mean, the HP spread much closer than the last. Around Vel'Koz ult, unfortunately, not doing that much this time. Even though the itemization is pretty good on this monstrosity, the blue buff does help. The ultimate here is pretty nice. The GA gonna resurrect us fully. And now we've got our friends battling it out. This is when, your homies, right? Go out there for you and fight your battles for you. Unfortunately for Gremlin, his homie is a little weaker than Dimdan subs.
Weak homies feels
weak
bad.
Homies. You got any weak homies in the chat?
You don't want to tell your homies they're weak either, because they're your homies, but
exactly.
Also not cutting it.
If you're just feeling bad, just kiss your homies, right?
True.
Kiss a homie. It's Dimdan sub.
I was waiting for the transition. I didn't know how you're gonna take that one, but
yeah. I think the best way that we could have, which was ignore it. 26 HP now, double radiant items on the Vel'Koz Viego. Gonna give us 5 gold and a double trap claw. That's the most.
These items.
That's the most valuable 1-cost Ziggs you'll see probably all night.
It's gonna be pretty darn good. No Spellweaver emblems, unfortunately. Are we thinking about Zyra 3 from this spot? Pretty far off. Is this a Zyra? No, it's an Ashe. BG. But Vel'Koz is 1 away from being upgraded. The front line, when Fiddle 2 is here, is going to be not bad. There's a lot of gold on this bench, though. Like, an extraordinary amount of gold on this bench.
That's a little bit of an understatement, to be honest with you. The lowest cost unit on the bench is a 3 cost, right?
Yeah.
Woo, man, thank goodness for this Archangels. Oh, double trap claw. Making this so we don't lose by a ton. Every loss at this point in time is awful, right? And again, this 1 unit loss might keep us in the top 4 against Sherbat, who has 1 HP less, right? That stuff really can come into play as Admiral Zhao also losing out. Admiral Zhao needs Sherbat to lose at this point in time, especially since we still do have that Draven 2 on the bench, most likely. If not, then we've wasted money by combining it.
Yeah. Seeing a trend here from Dimdan some, actually, and it's that Dimdan, even though, getting to a point where they're, 1 hit from perhaps dying, they try to roll for a lot of different upgrades at the same time. And I mean, I think this time around, got rewarded for it, actually hit and had a bit more intention there, like sold the units pretty quickly, rolled down pretty quickly. But I think Dimdan is kind of, we're seeing similar trends again from game 1 to game 2. It might work out this time around, however. Vel'Koz and Zyra are very well itemized. The front line is decent as well, but the Jax is a bit too good. Dimdan won't die here. But still, now definitely 1 round away from being eliminated. KJ and Sherbat fall in 7th and 6th, respectively.
So now is 32 HP enough time to pick up those Dravens? That is the question, and that's Draven comp should be okay against things like this Jax, if the Jax isn't positioned in front of the Draven to start. The Leona 3 might be tough for a Draven to get through as well. Man, we've got a lot of really cool itemization in the back line with like double Zeeks, double Trap Claws. You know, I like spreading the love on those items. In the later game, all those items get substantially stronger. Things like Zephyr and Shroud will always be included in that conversation. It's a bloodthirster here. Good thing we already have one on the Jack, so we're not too upset about that. Double Titan's so good. That's an extra 50 defense just because you attacked and got hit 25 total times. Admiral Zhao moving into some potential tier 3-4 cost units. 2 Rels away, 2 Dravens away.
A Kayle on the
and
board
a Kayle. We could still get... We can't
Draven?
get 6th.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
One more.
Okay.
Do we need one more?
Okay, we just need one more. Things are getting exciting, folks. We got the Draven coming through.
Okay. Take a deep breath as we get into this round. There's no way that Admiral Zhao can die here, even though this loss might be pretty big. Double Titans Jax now fully ascended. I guess stacked up with the Titans. Not really ascended. That's Kayle's job, but she did not get to actually do her job this fight because she's Kayle. Was that too mean? I'm sorry, Kayle.
No, it's okay. They deserve it. Kayle has been traditionally one of the most overpowered champs in all of TFT. Set 1 Kayle will forever go down in memory for me because she just gave invincibility. Remember if you did Rageblade Shojins back in the day? Oh, lordy.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, especially on Pike too. Cross Pike, one of the only metas where 2 of the same unit made it onto the board. We're 1 Rel away. Cannot tell you the last time I saw a Rel 3. I bet that...
well. Oh, the Galio in the shop as well, though. All right.
Items flying across the board. Always,
yeah, that was...
always get, you know, is this a dream? The convergence is full of it. But yeah, with this Rel 3, things are going to be very, very interesting. Rel 3 not impossible to get through, especially with things like Giant Slayer, Last Whispers, and Dravens, but shielding here is going to be a potential issue because I believe the Rel 3 shield is massive, which should be really good against things like which should be really good against this comp specifically, which we'll get to see.
Oh, and the great Zephyr as well onto the Teemo from Papa Lev. Absolutely beautiful stuff by Admiral Zhao. The stun is also 8 seconds. Oh, and the shield. Look at there's so much shielding. Can Teemo actually get through it? I mean, maybe. It's possible. Rel 3? Maybe Soju is right. Maybe Rel 3 is a waste of gold.
Rel 3, not it, folks. If that, well, and that's the difference between raw HP and shielding, right? It unfortunately for our Rel 3, it should have given us confidence, but it is not going to be the case. Gallia 3, much different experience if we're able to get there.
And Papa Lev's holding Dravens as well. Oh, look at this. And hits the Heimer too. There we go. Here's some TFT play that you love to see. Some intention, some targeted unit stealing at the right time.
I think people are too nice when they play TFT sometimes. Take someone else's units, man. Especially at this point in time when you're trying to go for that Draven 3. You hold it until the very end.
So both players were griefing the Dravens. That's why he actually couldn't hit it, and he sold them. Oh my god. I love this game. I love TFT.
Those are that is going to only increase as time goes on, in my opinion. These team mushrooms are MVP right now. Insane placement, but Oh, and that Karma too. And there's that Giant Slayer, right? We've been saying it
Yep.
for a couple lobbies now. A lot of HP. Giant Slayer would be a great counter to this lobby, and that rings true as Admiral Zhao does take the win against someone's Ghost. So Rel 3 working out there. Giant Slayer on the Kale.
There's a Galio. And yeah, Admiral Zhao wants the Galio because he's now one off of Galio 3.
Galio
And
3's nuts.
He's so greedy. It goes for so many things, but if he hits the Galio 3, that might push him over the edge. Rel 3, Again, maybe Soju is right. Maybe Rel 3 is the biggest waste of gold. But it did win the last round, though, so it's not completely useless. One more roll, maybe can sell a unit on the board. No, it doesn't hit it.
So close.
Still rolling. It's going to play a second Galio 2 instead. Oh,
I love the Moxie. I love the Moxie.
Sell the Kale, buy the Callista, roll one more time.
Sell the Rel. Just kidding.
Sell the Rel.
Sell the Rel. It rhymes. Do it for the thematics of it. Sell the
Rel. No.
Oh, man. All right, let's see if this is going to work out here. This is Rel's worst nightmare, which is a Volibear. Volibear should ult before the Rel, so we should get at least that ult off. This one a little bit more friendly. Man, so much CC. This Rel barely even got that ult off, and we finally do get it. Ooh, no, the Jax is gone, though. Jax is gone. Rel still here. Oh, this might be good for Admiral Zhao. Oh, Kale did evolve, and that's going to be a win for Admiral Zhao. We're going into round 6-6 with 3 players remaining. Papa Lev leading the pack right now. One more roll. Still no Galio.
Kale, but no Galio. Oh, Galio's now being picked up by Papa Lev. He sees it and says, why are you doing this to me? There's one from Jive and Thrive too.
So, okay, this is why I like this, okay? Because what Papa Lev is doing here is potentially knocking Admiral's mental for like the next 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Like this is something that could stick with you.
Yeah. It is. It's not only tilting, but it's the correct play. It's gonna help Papa Lev secure the first. Papa Lev's on an 8-win streak, looking to make it a 9-win streak, looking to knock out Admiral Zhao in this game. And yeah, with the Draven already gone, that is what's going to happen. Rel 3 is not good enough. This is Admiral Zhao losing and his Drive and Thrive surviving. So we will go to stage 7, but Papa Lev, hats off to you. Big brain. And now the Gallios are sold. Now we start roll for what units we actually want, which, what does he want here? Already, he's upgrade everything. Doesn't even need anything else.
This is zombie rolling. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Okay, no. Actually, is trying to deny Jaxes from Jive and Thrive. That's what I'm trying to do.
If I was Admiral Zhao, I'd be so upset right now.
Yeah, that is a little tilting, actually. That's very tilting. I'm gonna be frank.
It is a legitimate strategy, in my opinion, right? So
100%.
Something in tennis that is one of the most... So I used to play competitive tennis back in the day, and one of my things is if I was losing, what I would do would just be play frustratingly slow, right? It had nothing. It had nothing to do with the game. Right, I just took max time on like each serve, right? And that's why like I love games like this, because a lot of things that don't necessarily have to do with the game can actually help you win it out, right? So blocking those units reminds me of just taking that extra time, right? It's a little extra bit of strategy to try to push you over to the top and maybe recover a little bit of lost time, as well as this Karma with double Giant Slayer. That's the itemization too. Not only is this team comp good, the itemization is as well, but the Jax is already in the back line, and we are not going to see this Jax falter at all. We should be one more round, and then that'll be it. But this Jax seems unbeatable.
Papa Lev did such a great job at blocking off Admiral Zhao's forecast that, you know, there wasn't quite enough for blocking the Jaxes. And now Jive and Thrive kind of slipped under the radar for so long, and now is probably going to win the lobby because of it.
We tried to deny it too, right? That's the worst, when you like call it in your head, right? You do everything right, but we still, you know, it still happens at the end of the day. But Papa Lev can be very proud of how they played this lobby. Papa Lev played TFT like I like playing TFT, just better. Right? Every decision has some type of consequence in this game, and the decisions that we were making, which is block these units, which is something we never see like a lot of levels. I mean,
Rarely,
there is a
yeah.
huge Reddit thread about one player doing it at a bigger competition, right? So it is something that I hope to see more of. And ooh, that team a little bit better this last time around. The 3 Mystic Splash for Jive and Thrive, though, is a nice little callback. But this is going a lot better for
It
Papa right now.
is.
But still, a Cruel, I think, is the only way to do this, but it's not going to happen.
No Cruel. A cruel fate for Papa however, played so well, but still not able to get the dub. It is going to be Jive and Thrive, taking it with the Jax 3. Past games that we've had, past 2 games, we've seen, 3-star carries. Take it. 3 stars are pretty good in this game, it turns
Just a little
out.
bit.
Just a little bit.
I would agree with you.
It's
Wholeheartedly.
hard to get there. But
We're getting to those tier 3 units too at the end, but gotta give props to Papa Lev in terms of blocking units and being just an absolute nuisance, and honestly taking Admiral Zhao a little off kilter there at the very end.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunate stuff for Admiral Shao, but at least a top 3. Let's go ahead and look at the scores, because Admiral Shao is still going to be up there, and yeah, still in first place nonetheless, with a 17 points total. Papa Lev in second with 16, Jive and Thrive in third with 13, and Dim Dan Sum in fourth with 11. Then we have Gremlin, Jedi Mind Tricks, KJ, and Sherbat. Hey, Jedi Mind Tricks getting a top 4 in there. Mental may be preserved. Sherbat, though, definitely a long way to go to break into the top 3 in return for that 3rd week in a row.
If
see what happens.
If you're KJ or Sherbat, you need a lobby win at this point in time.
Or at least a couple of seconds. Like
you don't necessarily, you don't necessarily like need it, but it would definitely behoove you to win or second place the next couple lobbies. But yeah, I'm liking this top place so far. I think there are a couple people who can definitely make it into the top 3. Can never take Triple D out. Dim Dan Sum has been here a couple times in the past, has found success here as well. So looking forward to see what the second half brings, because a lot of times it brings a lot of different results. So will the top stay at the top? Will the bottom be able to climb back up? The second half is the only way to tell.
We'll see. We gotta wait just a few minutes before we get into that second half, but don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a few for more Fight Night Rising, brought to you by Wisdom. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fight Night Rising, brought to you by Wisdom. Boop, we have had 2 games so far, and we've seen some pretty interesting stuff out of the 2, I would say. A lot of 3-cost rerolls, and then a lot of unit blocking, more than we've seen. It's like multiple players at the same time as well, and you were talking about it right after, so we got to break. You know, Papalev, certainly a player that's going to be on your radar from now on, I think, with that play, even though it didn't get first. But besides that, maybe, what are some of the most favorite things that you've seen so far the past couple of games? What are you looking forward to in the future as well?
I think we actually have the same favorite thing, which is the different kind of playstyle we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an injection of difference because no one blocks units for some reason. Until like it is like literally 1v1, let alone 1v1v1 on the last 3, right? So loved seeing that, and I think in order to really be like have me become a fan of you, I'm trying to find an appropriate synonym. The meaner you are to the rest of the lobby, the more I probably will like you. So I don't know what that's about, but Papalev,
that's interesting. I mean, that tracks, I think.
Yeah, Papalev definitely is creating a little bit of a fan in me because he blocked 2 people throughout a majority of the late game there.
Yeah, and blocked 2 people. There was, who else was doing it? Jive and Thrive was doing it as well. Actually, both of them were blocking. Papalev and Jive and Thrive were blocking Dravens from Admiral Shao. Jive and Thrive. Let's see if they're able to do it again. 2 wins in a row, hopefully. Jive and Thrive to start off with, I believe, a 6th and got a 1st. And they carry the momentum. Started with a tier, got a brand, have a 1 Draconic. Not a bad start. Still a long way to go, though.
That 6th was a little unfortunate, as it was a pretty cool 6-night comp. If you remember back in Lobby 1, probably could have top 4'd if the order of operations was a little different in terms of who we were able to face. We're definitely going to get at least an item component or a bunch of units out of this last PvE round. And we've got a good amount of gold on the bench too. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, depending on the units that we get, we might be able to econ in round 1.
Essentially. Let's see, going to be keeping open the options for perhaps a Draconic, perhaps Abomination as well. The Callista is in the shop. Move around these units very, very rapidly here.
Yep, I've 100% actually sold units doing that.
More gold? 10 gold?
Even more gold.
There we go.
More than that?
Okay, didn't need to sell that, but
we got a little excited.
Yeah, it's okay, sell everything, sell everything.
You know, it's like going to like college for the first time. You buy all like the college swag, and then it's the same type of experience there. Oh, I'm so excited! And we're gonna end with
everything.
Yeah, we're gonna end with 11 gold. In the shop. I wonder how many Ziggs we actually have right now. If we were going to be able to tier 2 the Ziggs, we would have if we didn't get that Ziggs. That actually might be the same Ziggs that we sold, but at one cost at 75%, probably not. But now at least we have a pretty easy go of it on lose streaking, especially against this comp. Admiral Zhao, 3 for 3 on opening round wins. It's looking like.
Definitely, these Hellions are not going to be strong enough. 6 damage over to Jive and Thrive. Pair of Ziggs, pair of Poppies, and a pair of Kleds as well. Could make 20 gold next round, depending on what Jive and Thrive is willing to sell. Gremlin, player who needs to have some more good finishes. Is kind of middle of the pack-ish, 7 points leading into this round, but definitely needs to have a top 2 or top 3 at least. Callista 2, early game with the Rage Blade plus literally anything. Very, very good opener.
I believe Gremlin played a lot of Yordles last time they were here. I have Tristana in my head for some reason.
Yordles? What are those?
I mean, Hellions.
I see.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, Mort said that the thing that the one trait that a lot of people missed was Yordles, and I was like, who is saying that anyway?
I'm honest. I can see it a lot. Like, I personally don't really, I don't resonate with it either, but I can see a lot of people liking Yordles.
I resonate with Vex. Like, Vex is the Yordle who like doesn't want to be a Yordle. She
doesn't want to be anything. She doesn't want to exist, I think. She is here.
Yeah, she's fine just being a 50-50. You know, it's like Is it a no bones day or is it a bones day? That I think really makes it up. It was a no bones day today, I believe.
Wow.
Obsessed with bones and no bones, by the way.
I actually saw the
Obsessed.
TFT Twitter tweeted a bones meme or no bones meme.
Yeah,
A couple days
completely
ago.
obsessed. That dog is so old. And I love it. Anyway, on this No Bones Day, Papa Lev having a little bit of a bones day. To be completely honest with you, especially the activity in terms of not only playing our board, but playing other people's boards by blocking some of those units. We're starting off with a couple Nightbringers and Legionnaires. Nice starting component on the Yasuo.
True.
Giant Slayer Slam.
Okay, so it's probably not going to stay being a Yasuo carry. Can for the early game, though, but I like Papa Lev's just wanting to maintain a strong board. It's not going to be with a win streak, though, which is a little bit of a curious decision. If they were trying to go, 3 win streak for the rest of stage 2, I would like to have seen that slam. Without it, maybe they save like 2 HP, but it does limit their options a bit later on into the game. So I guess overall, not a huge fan.
Not a fan, says Khroen. Okay, so we're going over to our carousel, our first carousel round. So this is where we're going to be seeing a little bit more direction when it comes to our team comps, especially if we're going to start re-rolling. The itemization here gets to be a little bit more important earlier on. But like you said, this doesn't necessarily have to finish out as a Yasuo comp. This is a pretty open start. 2 Nightbringer, 2 Legionnaire. For example, you could swap out the Vladimir for a Sejuani and move into Cavaliers or something a little bit later, or even an Aphelios to end the day. But we're going to get a Vlad 2 instead. We picked up a Yasuo with a large rod, so maybe that's going to turn into a Rage Blade. Yeah, and this ends up being an auto, an ADC type of composition with an Aphelios.
I was going to sell the Yasuo to combine it right now as opposed to waiting and greeting out, trying to find a Yasuo maybe on like a 3-2 roll down or something like that. It does, again, it gives more power right now, but it's going to probably hurt Papa Lev in the long run, depending on what units they find and what they actually transfer these items on the Yasuo over to. Yasuo is actually stuck now as well. Papa Lev, what are you doing? We loved your last gameplay, but all right, it's not gonna be a big deal. Still gonna kill a couple of units.
Oh man, we get to the we definitely could have killed more. That is what you call an unforced error, folks. In the lingo of this world, that is an unforced error. We're never gonna make that again, and that was for the world to see, Papa Lev. Just so you know, Sherbat has been a little bit on the struggle bus, but struggles of on Fuggles driving it right now is Sherbat sitting in 7th place or 8th place in terms of the entire standings, moving away from the Draconic, but it seems like we wanted to move into it this time around with Sherbat picking up a couple Draconic units along with these Abominations as we actually roll.
Whoa. I mean, okay, hitting Draconic here, I actually don't mind this rolling. It was kind of risky, very risky actually, but we hit, so all is forgiven, all is good. The Draconic will be able to make up that gold again. It's going to propel Sherbat into a pretty good mid game, and I think we'll be okay. These rounds will certainly still be losses, but Sherbat will, with this, have carousel priority in the future. Already has good items leading into a Vel'Koz carry, and hopefully we'll be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. And we do finally get Draconic to start. We're probably going to get an Udyr out of that egg. Udyr will join us in a second. We would need a couple of those to try to get our frontline a little bit better. Udyr, not like the greatest frontliner in the world, but the difference between tier 1 and tier 2 is pretty enormous, especially combined with the rest of the Draconic units. The Stoneplate on the Nunu will end up going on an Abomination, as we have everything we need for an Abomination. We just got to level up one more time.
Yep.
Ooh, nice.
20 gold. Feels good. See what the rest of the Krogs bring. Any items? And okay, another tier. That's Hodge. That's very good for Vel'Koz. Ooh. Oh, a tome? Okay.
A tome.
All right. That's what you like to see.
Especially if you're playing A-Bomb.
Yeah, don't want to use it right now.
Oh.
Okay, gets still rewarded.
3 good choices here.
Draconic. Oh, wait a minute. That's so greedy.
Love it. Snaps. This is what you
That
call
is
first or eighth, folks. This is what
so
you call first or eighth. It's not
greedy.
just a show that I host once a month, every day on this channel. Once a month, every day.
Okay, I do like this a lot. I'm actually really excited right now because Sherbat's in a position where they are 8th in the lobby after the first 2 games, so they need to play really greedy and get like a big 5-turn egg to get a first and then come back overall the night. So this is the perfect situation to actually make this play. If this is like game 1, sure, you just go, spell your spat, you go consistent, you get your at least, your top 4, whatever, you cash out with that. But Sherbat needs more than a top 4. So I really like this.
Yep, I was talking to Cardax a couple weeks ago, who played nothing but Draconic on the EU ladder for a very, very long time, and he was mentioning that around 80 HP is exactly where you want to lock it in, right? If you're not locked in on Draconic at this point in time, by the time you crack your 5-turn egg, you're going to be at like 18 HP, right? Yep. So this is good timing as well. Not only was it risky, it ended up working out, right? When risks work out, you're a genius. When they don't, you've misplayed. Right? So at this point, we're looking really good if we're Sherbat.
Oh yeah, Lucian's a carry that exists. We haven't really seen him past couple of games. And Papa Lev still does get the Yasuo too, actually, so not really punished for selling the earlier one.
Was punished for blocking it in those hexes. And like you said, Lucian, first one so far today, I think that we've even seen. And that's why.
Ooh. Unfortunate. Yasuo 2 at this point in the game is going to be a bit better than some of the 4 costs. Does have a Nico's help on the bench for Dimdan some. And List on the bench as well. Can consider keeping it. It won't be costing Econ. Item remover as well is there. Not really any use for it. And also not a lot of items. There's only 4 components for Dimdan after Krogs. That's pretty low, actually.
Which means that this wolf round is actually going to be very, very valuable. And this is where I always say, if you don't have items here, getting your stimmy earlier might be a lot better. It's even more valuable. We're too high HP, I think, to get it before round 4, but we should be rolling in some items coming into this next PvE round because of what we're seeing. Because actually, on the other side, KJ has the same amount of components on the field, but look at the bench, right? 2 whole components on the bench that they're not even using versus a remover and a Nico's here for Dimdan Sum.
Yeah, and the Nico's obviously going to be, super good a bit later on. Dimdan also snapping the lost streak. Maybe they're able to get something like a carousel Lucian Nico's it. That would be solid. They're not first pick, however. Sherbat did drop into that first pick slot. KJ going to be receiving the stimmy here soon. There also is no Lucian.
And there's no Draconic 5 for Sherbat. If there's a Draconic unit here, this would have been a Draconic 5 locked in at 4-1, which is, you can have that capability because a 5-turn egg will take you to round 5-1. We really want to start getting that Draconic unit, probably missing a Galio and or a Zyra, since we did see the Ashe a little earlier. As our last 2 players pick up our items, it's going to be a Quick Love for Jedi Mind Trick and a Tear for Jive and Thrive.
Ooh, okay, Lucian here in Jedi Mind Tricks' shop, but this early game, this is one of the best early game boards, and we see it obviously paying huge dividends for Jedi Mind Tricks. Olaf 2, 3 really good items, 92 HP, win streaking, top of the lobby. The question is, what are you going to pivot into? And it just might be the Lucian, but when do you pivot? Jedi Mind Tricks is considering pivoting into Lucian right now, but honestly, it might be a bit weaker right now. It might be more susceptible to just getting one shot randomly. Olaf has the healing. He has Skirmisher buff for a bit of shielding. I like keeping Olaf in.
I think a lot of people give up on the Olaf a little bit too quickly, so I am definitely on board with you. That little bit of lifesteal at the very end is enough to 1v1 most units, but you got to give Olaf the chance. And right now, it looks like we are going to be able to do it, even with the Syndra, saying to go back to class real quick. You do not have a hall pass. Please go back to class. In which, by the way, I was in one of those schools that we had to ask to go to the bathroom, and we could only go 2 times total in a day.
You had a restriction on how many times you could go?
Isn't that kind of messed up?
I mean, asking, sure, whatever, but a limit on how many times? That is kind of messed up.
Yeah. There are things that, I think back on in high school where it's I remember one time I got in mad trouble for wearing a baseball cap. right? And
Truly.
like adult Chris thinks back on that moment and gets like really upset. It's like,
Oh
I
man.
wasn't even a student. I was teaching marching band at the time, and I don't know why it affected me so much, but it did. Did you have
BG.
any like weird school rules? We also
I
banned
mean,
Cheetos for a hot minute.
man, Cheetos? I don't know about
Yeah.
weird, but I know I definitely like I had braids, like I had cornrows back in high school for a time, and I was wearing a do-rag so they wouldn't, get messed up, and I was not allowed to wear a do-rag, unfortunately. I got yelled at for
Why?
that. Feels bad. I don't know. It actually made like there's no reason why. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny. There are things where in the world where I'm like, someone should look into this. Dress codes, someone should really look into those.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
100% agree. They're whack.
yeah, they're pretty whack, and they were all made in like the 40s.
Yeah. Like come on now. Like what is this rule? It doesn't make sense anymore. Go with the times.
Exactly. But Admiral Zhao feeling pretty good about the times at the moment. Defending champ in first place still. Great Drax build. Another blue buff.
What is with
Udyr.
blue? Well, blue blessing here, I guess the radiant blue buff on the Udyr, but still, what is with these blue Udyrs? I mean, I guess like blue Udyr is like actually like not like terrible. He switches stances a lot, gets that extra powered a crit, and I guess it's probably the best unit here to hold it. Certainly not gonna again remain here forever. It's gonna go on a Viego a bit later if we do remain with the 6 skirmisher, and I wonder if we will or not. 6 skirm did get buffed recently. Admiral Zhao has some upgraded scrims already between the Lee Sin, right? The Irelia even as well. I'm curious. Can 6 skirm win a lobby?
It's been a hot minute. It's been a lukewarm hour, if you will, when it comes to Skirm 6 potentially.
I've never heard that before.
In terms of Skirm 6 taking the lobby, I'm actually really proud of that. As the Abomination's going to be Draconic here. Unfortunately for Sherbet, it doesn't count as an extra Draconic when it comes up. Sherbet going to be at 45 HP. KJ already at 25. Did not catch what the blessing was. Dim Dan Sum is 1 HP away. Man, that is the worst. When you're at 41 HP. Sherbet looking a little frustrated. I look like this a lot when I'm playing Draconic too, especially since we have not hit our 5-turn egg just yet.
It's okay. We hit 5 Draconic at least. We got the Galio. Things are starting to shape up. Stimmy is not here for Sherbet yet, but it is going to be there for KJ. 25 HP. Alright. Have a spat as well, so could make Spellweaver a bit later on. Could even, take it a step further and slam the Chalice.
Okay,
rolling still.
Yeah, Sherbet loves the Zyra. Is something that I've noticed from their play a couple weeks. Last week is a lot of carry Zyra. Only a Zyra 1 now, but those items are good. Unfortunately, our Draconic units are not right now, as they're all just tier 1. We're going to start with an ult for that Zyra, get 3, but not the carry, which is very unfortunato for Sherbet. Let's see if the brand will get hit up on this next one. It does not, but it does get knocked up by the Monstrosity, which is going to get absolutely demolished even with that stone plate on. At least we get our Stimmy at 31 HP. This is going to be a very important one for Sherbet. What are we even looking for at this point in time?
A tome would be good. Oh, okay. Level 7 just hitting a fiddle and a Vel'Koz in the shop. Ukshan as well, but we don't really need that one. It is gold and components. Okay. We take those. Not the worst.
No,
remember go in right now? Can't really because we want 5 Draconic.
Last week someone got 3 Thieves Gloves and 3 item components or something like that. On a Draconic roll.
From the 5-turn egg?
That was unfortunate. And anytime I see a lot of items get dropped for Draconic players, there is a world where there just isn't room, right? Because we still have the Radiant item coming up again at round 5-1. We have any potential golden eggs pushing items through, and if any of those are Thieves Gloves, eventually you just run out of room and quality units. As the Ash Arrow does get into the back line, but that Lucian is pretty scary against high HP targets right now, especially with that Radiant Giantslayer. And Double Titan's going to be showing up on this board too, this time on the Varus.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Sherbet's down to 20 HP, 4 loss streak. Okay, Volibear would be pretty good. But also a Rod to get the Spellweaver. Which one is going to be priority? Looks like it is a Spellweaver emblem. And Sherbet has to make some changes right now. I don't think we can remain in 5 Draconic. Sure, it's nice, it's great, 5 turn egg, woo wowee, but it doesn't really help if you're dead. So we gotta start actually putting some units that do things in.
You know, even though that was sarcastic, hearing you say woo wow wee is still some of the most excitement I've heard from you. And in the time that we've known each other.
That's unlucky. Working on that.
Yeah, that is not true. You're a phenomenal caster, my friend. But now we're moving in. We're moving out of our Draconic, house. Mom and Dad, see you later. We're going to college. We're going to go harder into this abomination and hopefully get a Vel'Koz too, which we do. We have good items for the Vel'Koz as well. Definitely saved. Are we going to go?
Spellweaver Fiddle. Spellweaver Fiddle.
Definitely. Fiddle loves cooking. Put most spatula items on the fiddle can work out just fine. Spellweaver though is a really nice one, as again every single one of these casts is going to make the entire team a little bit better, and you're already seeing just the extra damage coming in from the monstrosity, but that's still going to be a 7-unit loss for Sherbet.
Vel'Koz 2, I mean, that was great. Sherbet did what needed to happen, but KJ had a Volibear, had a Teemo, had a Philios 2 already with some really good items. Unlucky matchup, honestly. Really just unlucky matchup for Sherbet there. And now all of a sudden, any bad matchup now will just be Sherbet going out Nath, and probably with that could not get into the top 3.
Okay. We are on the brink of elimination. Sherbet did level up to 8. KJ on fire at 19. But we've got Jive and Thrive giving us a little bit of a palindrome with first and second place. Right now, 84 HP at the top, 48 in second place. Much closer after that. So Jive and Thrive almost guaranteed a top 4 here. Even if we do lose out, if we're not losing out by complete team wipes, we should be okay. As the Draven, you're seeing exactly why that second row is so good. The assassins jump right past him. The front line is already being taken care of because of this Garen and this Draven. Draven 1 gonna be doing a lot of work here. Doesn't win the round, but does do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, we're actually getting word from production that Sherbet reforged the Draconic spat after pivoting out Draconic and actually got an A-bomb for 5 A-bombs. So that is also a really intelligent play. It's not only like I need to get Draconic to high roll to win the lobby, but then also having an out so that you're not stuck on it for the whole game. And wins that round, so Sherbet at least gets to see stage 5.
Ooh, nice
Blessing,
items.
of course, was what gave the Reforger.
Where are these items going to go? Are we going to keep the Mistral on the Teemo? What is the plan here? We have at least the PvE round to think about it.
Yeah, then to level to 8 and roll it down.
Literally only one person scouted is what I saw. That is one of the things. I actually have really liked the 1v1, knowing when they're scouting during the 1v1. It has really created some really interesting plays in terms of delaying or pretending to switch sides, because you know when they're looking. It's very interesting. 5-1 now. We do have a pretty good shop here on either side of the defensive or offensive equation. Fist of Fairness, just such a good item in general.
Very good. Blessed Bloodthirster is decent, but you don't really need that healing with the 4 Legionnaire. We talked about that a bit earlier. Dragon's Will and Radiant Redemption certainly really good in this lobby against all the AP that we're seeing, or at least some of the AP. Oh, it actually goes onto the Garen. I like that, actually. The Garen's going to be a big threat. Rolling down, though, because we took so long to figure out what we wanted to do there, Apollo isn't able to make the full pivot happen. It finds an Aphelios, is going to pivot over to that. Just this round probably is going to take some damage, though.
You know, it's actually really crazy. You know, something that we say all the time is the longer you take to make that first decision, the less, the less time you have for the rest of them.
Exactly.
Right? And this is exactly coming true for Papa Lev, which is a little bit more intention, might have given us a little bit more leeway in how we get to this point in the game, because there's a lot of damage on the bench. Still.
Oh, man. There is. Also, again, the HPs are kind of crazy this game. Jive and Thrive 84, and then everyone else is 29 or below. Only a 24 HP gap from second to 8th.
all 8 players still remaining, as well as we do have a little bit of a, not a little bit of a pivot, full-on pivot, pushing through here. Popolev should lose maybe one more round. We do have some economy to help out. Doesn't seem like we need the Draven, but we're going to keep rolling, actually. We could have greeted 1 or 2 rounds, maybe to get to the carousel, but doesn't look like that is going to be the case. Look at still so much damage on the bench.
Frontline's not great. Oh, actually, it does get the shroud in time because of the misclick. Mechanical, a little mechanical misstep there. Unfortunate. Will it be the difference?
Oh,
it might be. Aphelios casts, and yeah, now Aphelios on the side of Popolev goes down. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
See, at that point, it was like we didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Right, because we still have our Nikos on the bench. We didn't get our shroud in on time. Let's see if we're gonna reforge anything.
Now only 14 HP separates 2nd and 8th. Boop, what is this lobby?
Everyone lost. I don't know how that happened. No, Drive and Thrive sitting a nice amount at the top.
Okay.
Everyone else, on 1 life. Pretty much. Sherbat's been sitting at 5 HP for 3 rounds. Will be on fire on the next one if she's able to get that win. Drive and Thrive, we were told, is already at level 9 at 5-1. So, when you win streak for the entire game, you're going to have a lot of money. But we did lose that last time around. Giantslayer now running with the Draven and the Jax. The double carry here, the Shroud, not amazing, but it does hit 2 very important members. The Diana, though, actually putting Draven in a safer spot.
A little bit. Let's see. Next Aphelios cast will be big. Might not even need it. Now Aphelios is targeting the Draven, but it's not going to be enough damage. Now the Draven turns around and Popolev falls. Oh, what a tragedy of a lobby. What? You might actually just go 8th.
Oh my goodness. Is this 6 people? 7 people at single-digit HP right now?
What is happening?
If Admiral Zhao does lose. He wins. So Admiral Zhao wins. So that does mean 7 single-digit HP members of this lobby. We have a pretty much spat carousel right now with a free Teemo. I've never seen this, even in my games.
I was really going to say, I've literally never seen this many players on single-digit HP. This is absolutely crazy. I've seen like 5. I've seen 4. I've seen 5. Not 6, though. Giantslayer and Gremlin. Only 7 HP separate 7th and 2nd. That is absolutely insane. Every single round matters so much. The positioning, knowing who you're going to face. Another Cavs emblem. 3 Cav. Okay. Cav Jax. And Drive and Thrive got here so well, too. Drive and Thrive is chilling. Guaranteed 2nd almost. Like, this is where you're, just hands back. You're scouting and you're like, all right, which one of you is going to fall first? But I'm just chilling back here. Feeling good about it.
At least half this lobby is going down in this next round. 3 people should fall on this next round. Maybe 2 if Jedi Mind Tricks loses by like 1 unit. But we should have a triple elimination just already going through here as Drive and Thrive with the Jax Cavalier, something that we mentioned a little earlier with Sherbat. Let's already pushing a lot of damage. And it's so interesting because that carry is at tier 1 still, but we've got Gwen in the back line.
She's
snipping
so good.
And snapping. So good, and refills that health bar every single ult. Doesn't matter that we have a tier 1 Jax. That is going to be that triple elimination. Sherbat gets 5th, which is a very nice comeback, actually. Jedi Mind Tricks in 6th, and KJ in 7th. 3 people still single-digit HP, 2 of which have 2 HP. Still 58 for Jive and Thrive.
A decent comeback for Sherbat, but probably not enough. Sherbat probably needed a top finish in this game to come back to be able to achieve the top 3. KJ kind of in a similar boat, actually, with that 7th place. Not going to be feeling too good about that one. Same actually to Mind Tricks. Both these players, I think, at like between the 8 to 10 point threshold. However, we still got Gremlin, Dimdan Sum, Admiral Shao, and Drive and Thrive left. Let's see it. Gremlin now on elimination point. Drive and Thrive is level 9. Only has Jax 1 and Gwen 1, though. But as we saw the last fight, this Gwen's just so damn good. Look at her go.
Snippy snaps. Edward Scissorhands, obviously Gwen's favorite movie. No doubt about it. And it's one of the best counters to these like hyper heavy comps that we're seeing with a ton of HP, right? Because it steals stats, as we're going to get 2 in a row, Admiral Zhao is going to be the last one remaining as Gremlin and Dim Dan Sum fall in 4th and 3rd place, respectively. Gremlin really needed this top 3. We are able to get it. So the bottom of the standing should look a little bit different. And this isn't even a Gwen 2, folks. This is a Gwen 1 with good items.
It's doing like 9k damage, like 8-9k damage plus per fight. Doing way more than the Jax. This is crazy. And Drive and Thrive still has 50 gold left. It's going to be like 60 to roll with on level 9. Oh boy. What are we going to see here? We're going to see Gwen 2. Yes, we are. We're going to see Jax 2. Yes, we are. I feel like the game is going to end next round, Boop.
At round 6-1.
6 knights, 3 cav, 3 ironclad. What a comp.
Absolute domination in this lobby. There are very few lobbies that will have someone lead pole to pole. Right, it is very, very, very rare to have someone in first place this long and then to potentially win the lobby. That is a pretty nice karma in the back line. Nice effort too on the Jax. Unfortunately, that Jax isn't necessarily our carry, and no matter how little health this Gwen has, it's gonna get back every single time the ult goes. Nice dodge too from the karma, dodging 2 of those soul flares. Here's the big one coming up. Doesn't really do that much damage, especially since we have 6 knights, 3 ironclads, 3 calves on the board. Seems like 6 knights is something that Drive and Thrive likes running with a little bit of an extra Gwen there, just for a little bit of fun.
Beautiful game from Drive and Thrive. Takes the lobby decisively. We get out of here at 6-1. What an insanely fast lobby, because Drive and Thrive bullied the lobby from start to finish, led from pole to pole, like you were saying. And now, I'm curious to see where these point standings are, because that's back-to-back wins for Drive and Thrive. And hey, we got the standings right now. All right, Admiral Zhao, very consistent, still leading, 25 points. Drive and Thrive, 23. Papa Lev and Dim Dan Sum, however, are going to be in a tight race for 3rd. Gremlin can still sneak his way in there. Same with Jedi Mind Tricks with Sherbat and Jedi Mind Tricks, Sherbat and KJ, though it does get a little bit rougher. Not sure they're able to. I don't know the math here. I'm not going to try to do math.
Our track record's not that great. Papa Lev, 100% to blame for this. 1 point there, even though that lobby was insane, right? We had we had 6 players in single digits. Could have been 7 if Papa Lev was able to survive a round or 2 longer, but that 8th place was a little bit self-brought, maybe a little bit more than a little bit. Had a little bit of a hard time with intention, had a little bit of a hard time creating some moments because we were taking so long to decide on other ones, right? So if we can keep everything settled, right? It looked like we were a little antsy, a little bit unfocused there. So Papa Lev needs to focus in a little bit harder, because a top 1 here could help us win the lobby. But unfortunately, it's going to be a lot harder now because of that 8th place.
That is true. Technically, Drive and Thrive and Dim Dan Sum can still get first places, I believe. It would need Admiral Zhao to go like 7th or 8th, and Papa Lev to probably also bot 4. It is possible, though, and wilder things happened before, as you saw the last game. Wild things did indeed happen. But it's game 4, Boop. We're already here. It feels like it's gone so fast because it has, right? These games have been so quick.
Yeah, that one ended at 6-1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fast in general. Like in your games, like TFT is a pretty predictable game length. Most games will go to like 6-4, right? It's going to be 35 to like 45 minutes, or maybe a tad longer. But that one was pretty quick. So ending at 6-1 like that means that no one really had anything going other than Drive and Thrive there. And locking in a 6 Knights comp against medium strength comps like that is always going to work out for you, because that Gwen wasn't a part of anything other than just being Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen is probably gonna. I'm gonna end set 5 with saying Gwen's my favorite unit. I think just because of how like not surprising, but how like explosively good she was at Worlds, and now we're seeing her, do this as well. People haven't really itemized Gwen for most of the set, but now we actually see players doing it, and it is so good, so fun to watch as well. Gwen's just so exciting unit, I think.
Oh, so, I totally agree, especially since Tank Gwen can work too.
True.
You can, it's not as good, but is pretty fun, and can do some work there if you really need that extra tank line. I've seen Cavalier Gwens do some insane things in the past, as this is going to be a sword start for Jive in Thrive, who is doing a lot of thriving, but not a ton of jiving right now. I would like to see some jiving. But do we have some moves? I mean, we had a Jamal's doing a lot of dancing here last set, right? And I really want people to understand that they're free to emote expressively as much as they want while on
maybe
camera.
when the victory comes through, maybe if Jive and Thrive wins, we'll see the Jive after the Thrive.
Yeah, makes sense.
We can at least hold out hope that will.
You don't want to prematurely,
Yeah,
jive.
can't prematurely the Jive.
Yeah,
and it'll be a little weird, champ. Feels bad there.
Exactly. We got the interesting. So Jive Thrive's gonna potentially run a 6-night comp again, but we've got some moderately good offensive items here. We're only gonna get units on this round, but 2 swords and a large rod, depending on what our first armory is gonna have, is gonna give us a little bit of direction a little earlier on than usual.
Yeah. I'm actually, I just thought of, like, I'm actually so glad that now in today's, TFT a game, in terms of the balance of it, that our first PvE rounds are so much more streamlined. Like, we know what to expect. It can't be these super insane variables that feel so much worse or better than others. I like where we're at. Sure, you can still get your insane gold opener, great, but you're not going to be, gonna be low rolling super hard.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're leaving the Sennas right now. It doesn't seem like we like Senna. It's very obvious when this happens to a player, right? Which is like, I'm going to have to play something a little unfamiliar to start. The Senna might be a part of that equation as we do level up. Who else are we going to be putting in? We have our double cannoneer start, though Senna's power comes from the ultimate, not necessarily the cotton balls that she shoots from her gun.
Auto attacks, yeah, they're doing a little bit. They're doing what, like 70 per, or maybe I'm getting mixed up with another person. Either way,
versus 230 on that ultimate, right?
yeah.
So
it's still ultimate's very good.
Yeah, literally shooting stuffed animals at their opponent. If that was a Heartseeker skin, that'd be sick.
Ooh, true.
But or like shooting like the Be Mine, right, to Lucian or something. Maybe that could be like a special special interaction. And I'm still waiting for my Heartseeker origin. We have enough.
Set 7,
or set 6.5. You never know. True. It doesn't really fit in the Hex Tech.
Yeah, probably not.
in that world, but you never know. Everyone deserves love, Khroen.
True. Even gizmos and gadgets and everyone in Piltover. They are no strangers to it. But for now, we get Dim Dan Sum with early. Honestly, not much going on here. There's a lot of potential, right? Potential Draconic, potential Abomination. We do have Brawlers, but that's about the only thing we have.
Ooh, not a lot of Brawler openings, just to begin with. People have really just gotten away from 4 Brawler. It's like unnecessarily complicated to get out of it a lot of the time. And you're not really gaining a ton of advantage unless you get it super early, because in the mega early game is when HP gets very, very popular. So a 4 Brawler team with like a single Sunfires should streak for a bit. But this team, however, having a little bit of a harder time. It's going to be Knights versus HP, and it's going to be the Hellions that are going to be able to do a little bit more damage. So Mr. Triple D right there. Or I actually, it's just 2 Ds.
It's just double.
I've been saying triple Ds earlier, but it is double.
I thought you had something with it that I just was missing, so I was gonna let you.
Nope.
You said it confidently. I believed you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lesson in intention, folks. You see how everyone just went with me there. But yeah, that's those are 2 Ds. The sum of which equals 2.
1 + 1 does equal 2. We're good enough for that kind of math, Boop.
Maybe I was saying triple D. Yeah, because that's what my report card looked like back in the day. I was just thinking about my old school academics. But Dim Dan Sum now.
Sides for tuba, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I did major in the tuba, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Um, Sunfire Cape in
Yeah,
the
well.
front line. So this is the thing about Sunfire Cape, right? It does such a good job almost getting people down. You just need that follow-up damage. And if you're really trying to win streak, slam that Sunfire Cape, try to get like a tier 2 Callista or something to follow it up so those kind of weaker frontline units can actually get taken down.
Dimdan, considering the Leona too, but probably not going to end up taking it. Is 80 HP. Sunfire is the only thing slammed, as you were mentioning. There's a spatula here. Spatula going to be really good for Dimdan in the mid game, and is probably going to pick it up. Oh, actually, it was a bit too slow there, so it gets stolen away by KJ. Hello? We still haven't picked an item. It's okay, a bow. Oh, yeah, I hate seeing that one.
Yeah, because sometimes you just have a little bit too much intention, right? And you're like, I need this, and when you don't get it, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
You feel like alone in the middle of the ocean, pretty much.
Ooh,
as that is a
pre-level?
very early Aphelios as well.
That's why you pre-level. So you can get the 2% chance forecast at 2.5. And the rest of the board still... Wait, there's a set 2, Udyr 2... Wait, what are all these upgrades? Hello? Admiral Shao, this is illegal.
Let's see what we do with these upgrades. 4 tier 2 units and an Aphelios.
What is happening?
This frontline's good enough for this Aphelios at 2.5. Oh, as we have a little bit of open forwarding.
Oh, that's 50 gold.
Yeah, that is a lot of gold.
Oh my god. Boop, I came in today being like, I hope we get some good stuff, and I am pleasantly surprised. We're seeing some great stuff here.
Things that we don't see
amazing.
Ever. Yeah. But yeah, because it looks like we got a ton of gold on our opening PvE rounds because I only see 2 components on the bench there for Jedi Mind Tricks, and they're like, hey, let's do it. We're just gonna get rich.
For it.
Right?
Yes.
He looked like we saw an infomercial on something, and that's what we did.
More upgrades for Admiral Shao. Why not? Olaf upgrade 2. This is also a gold opener because there's only 4 components right now. So only got 2 components from the initial rounds and some gold. Yeah, take out the Aphelios. Might as well. Least it on the bench as well. Keeping our options open, keeping our board strong. Literally everything is going right for Admiral Zhao here, and is already in the lead over the course of the day.
That never happens.
I know. So very, very rarely. Very rarely.
Exactly. So the thing that I'm looking for right now is whoever is in 4th place, right? So we've got, I'm just going to keip saying it, Triple D with Dimdan sub.
Might as well stick with it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how far intention can take you. In 4th place right now, right? So we need Admiral Zhao to not take points away from us, right? Admiral Zhao is already feeling okay in 1st place right now. So the last thing we want to do is have them finish in the top 2 again and take potential points away from the rest of the lobby. So we're really looking to finish ahead of Admiral Zhao if we're in 3rd or 4th place, right? That's a really great way to control our own destiny, as this one is going to be a little bit more of a common opener for Sherbet, maybe not forcing some of our Draconic as hard, but this is a great opener. I mean, unfortunately for Sherbet and maybe the rest of the lobbies, everyone seems to be high rolling right now.
Sure.
As we have a quad tier 2 opening for Admiral Zhao. We have 3 tier 2s on this on this board, which would normally be the best board, but is not this time around, on the sole basis that one of our tier 2s is on the bench, and we're only 3 poppies away from a tier 3 poppy.
That's interesting. I wonder if there's any merit to going for that poppy. I mean, Sherbet leveled to 6 very aggressively. I feel like this poppy is just going to may remain on the bench until it's losing econ and then get sold. And you can kind of tell where players' minds are at based off how they split their bench. This concept that I think both of us bring up from time to time. Sherbet has the Callistas on the left, which I think this composition does want to pivot into a kind of A-bomb Vel'Koz, but keeping the Hellions on the right because we can sell those. Oftentimes you split the units between what you want to sell and what you want to keep.
Exactly. And so, I didn't actually start doing that until you told me about that, like 4 sets ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now I'm like super weird about my bench and how it looks. I used to just not care. and just like see it in my head. And now if it's not in order, like it will bother me. Is Admiral Zhao gonna take down Sherbat, which is look at 140 on that death blade. And what's crazy is that Aphelios has been here for 3 rounds now.
Yep. And both of the players as well leveled up to 6 on 3-1 because they both wanted to protect the streaks. Admiral Zhao protected it a little bit better because of specifically the Deathblade. Aphelios is great at farming Hellions. Love the play. Love the intention there. We're seeing a lot more intention, I think, compared to like previous weeks of players making these very specific things, and they're working out actually extremely well every single time.
Yeah, and when we say intention, it's like it's across everything in life, right? Being intentional about your experiences will only help you either overcome them or really appreciate them, right? So this intentionality, which I'm not sure is a real word, is really is really important, because any doubt, any time that you take away from that intention is doubt, right? And doubt will only make you do worse. As Jedi Mind Trick's gonna fall into the bottom half of the leaderboard. Damdan Sama doing the same thing. We're 1 round away from our carousel. A Lulu 3, as we're seeing Hellions pop up a lot this lobby.
That is true. Lulu 2, very good at this portion of the game. 3 Draconic now. Jedi Mind Tricks wants to farm some eggs. Already has 1 little small egg. All natural, of course, as we figured out earlier.
A witty bitty egg.
Organic. This is at 58 though, and we'll be receiving the stimmy probably soon.
My favorite again is in the next 2 rounds, which might be a possibility depending on how we lose. These are only 3 tier 2 units compared to some of our other boards.
Yeah.
As we have a Lucian with a Rageblade and a Hodge right now on the other side, so this should be a loss. And the Hellions also do poorly against Lucian specifically. Looking like popping some pimples. 48 HP, only 8 HP away from our stimmy, which is hopefully we're going to get by losing this next round.
HP away, it seems likely. Again, the board not very strong. We saw that in the last fight versus the Lucian. Kind of farmed. Admiral Zhao still at 100 HP going into stage 3 carousel. Can't ignore that one. Is Deathblade Aphelios plus a bunch of just upgraded units. Jedi Mind Tricks wants probably wanted a sword, but there is no sword, so looking a little lost.
Just a tad bit. Looking a little
tier.
Yep. Not quite dizzy, just a little bit of lost.
Oh, actually already had swords. Never mind. Had double swords actually for the Shojin, but we're not. I wonder what they were kind of hesitating for, actually. Oh well. Still get the tier. Blue buff perhaps incoming.
The blue buff might be a nice little add-on for someone like this Zig. Zig's very good at single target damage. So in the early game, that's going to be a lot more valuable as there are less targets. And now we should be able to hopefully not get completely wiped. We only need to lose by 2 units or so. We're actually going to sell Zigs.
This brand might make us a bit too strong though, honestly. And level 7, like Jedi Mind Tricks is very, very rich. Level 7, potentially 50 gold if he wins this round. Very, very good spot. Is up against Admiral Zhao though, who we know is super strong in this lobby, has been bullying the rest of it for until now. Oh, but the Zyra stuns the Aphelios, and the brand is going to tag him. Oh! Whoa! Does actually lose, and we got perfect stimmy. Okay. Sells the Draconic Egg actually for 50 gold.
Intentional 40, right? Proven our words, that intentionality, right? So we're gonna get the stimmy, we're gonna get a tome and some gold, we're gonna get our Radiant Blessing, and I really like getting it on this round again because now you're gonna have so much context and so much information and items that other people don't have, right? So you have the tome, but there's not a ton of direction going on with this tome. We're probably going to keep it on the bench for now. As a Dragon's Claw makes a little bit of a visit. And we're going to put our Sunlight Cape on the tier 1 Gragas. Oh, man, we've got good AP items, but 2 swords on the bench, which is a little unfortunate. Definitely wanting another tier for a Shojin's or... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Or a large rod for a Hex Gunblade for someone a little later on.
Yeah, if not Karma, then I guess Vel'Koz can still use the blue buffs. It does, as you were saying, makes the swords feel very bad. You could go something like a Zeke's perhaps. But yeah, besides Zeke's or Shojin's, not really gonna find much value in an AP composition. Is gonna win this round, so snaps the loss streak. Maybe Giant Slayer too. I guess you could consider as being valuable.
Papalev,
okay,
running it back.
MF.
Yeah, it's the first lobby is never like the rest of the lobby, right? We saw a ton of reroll and then none at all.
Yeah, true.
And so now we're seeing it again. And what's usually funny is I say in a fourth lobby, if you're first or eighthing, I think rerolling is the way to go. That would probably be my strategy, would be to just make the lobby go as fast as possible, right? Get to this MF3 super quick, and look what it did last time. If it wasn't for a Yasuo 3, we probably went out. That was a crazy 1v1v1 with three. It was three tier 3 cost units.
Probably my favorite,
3 different boards.
Top 3 that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, let alone our top 7, which 6 of which had single-digit HP on that last round. But we're doing a little bit of switching around, pushing some Forgottens in instead. I like putting Thresh in. If you're going to force a type of unit in, Thresh is, I think, fine, especially since it's a Zephyr in disguise. And we have a Rage Blade now for the Misfortune. Interesting.
Okay. Rage Blade I think is fine. She's going to be, of course, scaling that up over the course of the fight and then casting just a lot more frequently, especially paired with that Shojin's nice Thresh Hook. Yeah, big Thresh Hook. Might be able to get through the Abomination from Gremlin, and yes, will. Papalev does need this component to be either like a Rod or wait until the 5-1 Radiant Armory to get an MF item. No Rod here. Maybe Banshee's Claw, though. I think we take the belt, make Banshee's Claw. A lot of good units there in that shop as well. Dan Triple D, as you like to say, is playing Lucian.
I love nicknames that make no sense.
Yeah, it's just it has to stick now, even though it makes absolutely no sense. I'm gonna call on that.
There's a caster, Space Ghost, who I think is absolutely hilarious. She casts League, and one of the things that she's been doing, and I really want to steal, is every time someone kills Baron Nashor, she goes, and that is the Salt Lake City Nashors going down. She just puts a random city and team name on, and I've been trying to figure out how to do that here in TFT. I think it's so funny.
I like that. That.
Props to Space Ghost for providing some lulls. Also has one of the best Twitters in esports. Just saying.
100% agreed.
Yeah. I.e., there's a picture of her colonoscopy up there. You know, and I actually really like that because it's health, and health needs to be, normalized. And that kind of stuff is actually, while funny, I think really good for people to see. Speaking of intention, by the way. Anyway, back to this board. Our
regular
here.
scheduled programming of Triple D.
It's just we're so fast today. 100 HP at the top. Admiral Zhao with one of the best starts that we've seen. KJ in second place. Love to see that. Having a little bit of a rough day. Should be doing a little bit better this time, but the HP totals behind KJ are pretty similar outside of our bottom player here, which is Dim Dan Sum. 29, not really the sum of HP you want right now at 4-3. Hopefully we make it to the next PvE round, but a Revenant Galio, it just makes sense, right?
It's nice. I don't actually... I probably should know this. Does he keep casting his thing if he goes into the Revenant GA, a Revenant state? I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to see this time around. Nope. The Misfortune almost was able to make it. Drive and Thrive, though, gonna fall victim to our first Lucian 2 of the day.
Lucian 2 turns out it's pretty good, pretty consistent of a composition is the Lucian Sentinels. Of course, 29 HP is a bit low for right now, but is stabilizing. Is on a 2-win streak now. After upgrading the Lucian, is just picking up the Volibear just for a Volibear, and that's, I think, great, because we already have triple item Galio, triple item Lucian. You don't need anything else. There's nothing that you're really playing for at this point besides just units.
I totally agree. So Admiral Zhao sitting 30 HP ahead of everyone else. Did finally lose out on that last round. It is that's why 100 HP wins are so rare. It's almost impossible, but that roll is very, very nice. We're already at level 8.
Yep.
It looks like this is going to give us access to some of these 5-cost units first, especially at 5%. We hit right on the Akshan immediately. This Aphelios has been here for literally forever. I think round 2-5 is when
2-5 naturaled into it from
naturaled into it, and we have great items for it too. And we do finally get the tier 2 a little late because of how early we got it, but we made it to the party. There's still snacks available, and we're gonna have a good time anyway.
Oh, there's a lot of snacks available. Maybe the attendance rate was bad, or maybe people just overbought the snacks. But 91 HP, getting Aphelios too, like we're right on time.
Right on time, indeed. Especially since most of the time we'll see Aphelios 1 at 5-3 because people are low rolling.
Yeah, true.
Right. But that's not going to be the case this time around. Garen can take down a 1v1 with the right items, just not that time, as Jedi Mind Tricks has fallen into 8th place. Dim Dan Sum seems to have stabilized. Papa Lev at 38 should have that blessing. Surebet at 42 has a Lux 2 right now, so it looks like we're running some redeemed, probably a Vel'Koz comp there. Drive and Thrive in 4th, Gremlin in 5th, KJ losing that win streak as well, but Drive and Thrive hitting a Karma 2 at 4-6, so kind of matching the pace that Admiral Zhao is running with this Aphelios.
Drive and Thrive loved running, I believe it was the Jax plus the Karma as well. Both dual carries. Yeah, that was very interesting. Hopefully we get to see it again, see how it works out. For now, I'm going to be seeing, it looks like KG on the other side. And yeah, Vel'Koz goes down. Same with Aphelios, though, so it will be a win over Admiral Zhao from KJ. And KJ is in 2nd place right now, 61. It could be the spoiler, the lobby 4 spoiler, Boop. It always happens.
Always. There's always one. Admiral Zhao, though, breaking that 4th lobby curse. As of right now, we kind of did lose by a lot on those last couple rounds, but it does look like we're doing some adjustments as the rest of the lobby falling ever so closer to 0 HP outside of KJ. Everyone else really battling it out.
Yeah, Drive and Thrive up to or down to Triple D, 20 HP gap.
Love it. I like how it's kind of stuck.
It's so much easier for me to do as well, because for some reason I get tripped up on the name. I have to say it slower or to actually say it properly. So it's actually perfect. It continues the meme, easier for me. It's just a thing now.
Yeah, okay, cool. Triple D on the bottom of the leaderboard, 24 HP. New nickname, it's given. Remember, nicknames are received, not created. Right? That's just how it happens. I didn't create Boopasaurus, someone else did. So that's how it goes. As Gremlin goes into a Vel'Koz 2, Dim Dan Sum, Galio 2, and Fiddlesticks 2 on the bottom of the leaderboard, but everyone rolling into some good units. Misfortune 2 only for Papa Lev. We're still rolling away as Jedi Mind Tricks also hits a Fiddlesticks 2, so not a lot of Fiddlesticks on the board remaining. That's at least 6 elsewhere. Drive and Thrive looking for at least 2 more. Might be a little hard to find right now.
Definitely hard to find. Hard to find this Galio as well. Galio, one of the most popular frontline tank units, has been sitting on this pair for a little bit now. See if it's able to be enough here compared with the Jax. Drive and Thrive loves the Jax carry and is able to make it work very well so far. Doesn't have any Titans resolves though. He's not going to be quite as tanky as we're used to seeing him. Looks like it'll be okay. Jax will take the win here.
That little bunny hop because of Daisy. Reminds me of when I was first learning snowboarding. Those little bunny hops felt like such massive air back in the day.
True. Actually flying.
Yeah, and you look at the video and you're like, oh.
You're like, you go little.
I felt so cool 30 minutes ago. Daisy really giving me flashbacks of that. Live in Colorado. Haven't been skiing in about 5 years by choice. And Drive and Thrive. I love going up to the mountains during the spring, though. That's low-key the best time to go. Not during the winter. During
nice.
Even though you might be considered a leafer, going up during the fall leaf changing is beautiful if you're near some mountains. Though if you're really going anywhere for the fall, it should be Maine. Absolutely beautiful.
Maine is very beautiful. Been there a couple times. Absolutely gorgeous.
the leaves there. They have so many different kinds of trees too, so you'll get to see a lot of color, get to eat on a dock. I've been there once before and I've wanted to go back ever since. My husband and I eloped, but if we were to have a wedding, that's definitely on the list.
Maybe you can, get something like that eventually.
Maybe. Once you like don't have to have a wedding though, you're kind of jazzed about it.
Yeah,
to be honest with
we
you.
got past that,
Yeah, like the only
We're
thing I'm really
chilling.
missing is like the nice silverware and plates I would get at a wedding.
Yeah, the
right?
gifts, yeah.
Exactly. So
The rice
anyway,
cooker,
I wouldn't have
things like
changed
that.
it. Yeah, but I did ask my mom for a rice cooker. Actually, that's we use it all the time. I love making those poke bowls.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got me hungry, Boop.
Yeah, so good, so good. I'm so glad.
Stop talking about
now.
that.
Yeah, Papa Levitt, 2 HP, single digit HP now. Papa is gonna have to go back to Mama here soon if we do bottom out, and that is not what we wanted to see because we were tied for 4th.
Yeah,
I believe we had 2 second places in a row, and maybe 2 bottom 2s
Rush
in a
3.
row. As
This is the
Papa Lev
reroll
gets
misfortune
Thresh 3.
comp. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see if it's able to stabilize how close we are to the MF3. But for now, we're gonna see Jedi Mind Tricks versus Sherbat. Sherbat having a definitely a lot better game than the previous ones. This Vel'Koz has both the Jewel Gauntlet and Radiant version of it as well. It's gonna be doing a lot of damage if it can dodge the Karma, but no, it does not dodge the Karma. Karma a bit too good.
Especially with that Jewel Gauntlet.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Karma. Pretty good unit, especially especially against comps like that are going to take a little bit of time. Karma is really good if a unit gets trapped on the front line, for example. So you can get your Soul Flares out, get your 2 easy ones out, and then get your enhanced Soul Flare on your 3rd cast a little bit sooner, as these completed items are all pretty okay outside of the Shiv.
True. All right. I'm going to see a Zeke's here. Papa Lev does go out in 8th. So, I mean, still cannot get into the top 3, but can still maybe sneak into the top 4 for a bit of money. Unfortunate, though. Papa Lev started out so great. 2nd, and then 8th. Oh, hate to see it. Ooh, Revenant. All right. 4 Revenant. Nocturne's in the shop. Can we make it 5? No, probably not.
We did see 5 Revenant a little earlier today.
We did.
Ooh, Revenant Gwen. Here we go. We get a little bit of a tankier version of it.
Okay.
And again, don't feel like you have to get absolute full value out of your things like Zeeks and your chalices. Sometimes putting it in the corner is A-okay.
Yeah, she is going to be a little stuck.
She is going to be stuck.
She's here to have a good time, I guess.
Yep. This is unfortunate. That was the 2nd time we're seeing this today.
Okay. Gets freed by the abomination coming through.
Maybe it was just a big brain play. We don't need we're keeping the Gwen safe until we actually need it, right?
If the round was a win, I would be much more willing to give that one to you, Boop. But it is a loss, so I don't think that was quite the intention. Gwen 2, perhaps, for KJ.
Just because.
Yeah, I love it. Just because Gwen 2? Screw it, sell the Vel'Koz, put 3 items in the Gwen. She's a better carry anyway. No, probably not with these items, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, the last Gwen carry we saw was a Just Because Gwen.
True.
Yeah, so it is something that is a definite possibility. It's just such a good unit, and provides utility.
Ivern out, Gwen in. Give me an, okay, both Vel'Koz are on not opposite sides. Let's see which one rips through the other team first. Oh, okay, looks like Gremlin's Vel'Koz shifted its gaze to KJ's, but no. But then the 5 A-bomb come through with the D-Claw. It's going to be a bit too much. KJ will end up taking the loss on this one. Gremlin can perhaps get into that top 3. 14 points going into this game. If Gremlin has a top finish, might be seeing him again next week.
Ooh, things are starting to get intense right now. Let's see if we're going to see any other big brain strategies, right? Keeping Gwen in the pocket.
Big brain strategies.
Yeah,
yep.
Keeping Gwen in the pocket until we need her. No cap.
No cap.
No cap. And then Y'all are going to the Mall of America. That's going to be how most people say it over there.
True, it is. It's gonna spread.
Yeah, my favorite
crazy.
Minnesota-ism is big.
Big.
For bag.
Oh,
yeah.
not what I was. Okay, sure.
I gotta put it in the big. One of my best friends ever back in college was from Edina, Minnesota, so I got to hear a lot of it.
From where? From who? From
Edina, Minnesota.
Never heard of that in my life.
It is a pretty well-to-do place up in suburban Minnesota. Met her in college. Amazing French horn player. Always funny that I say that about people because I was a music major, right? Oh, great person, great French horn player.
Yeah, that's like actually the second thing that you distinguish them by. That is one of their defining. That is their personality. Is
yeah, exactly. Great French horn player. Absolutely wonderful person as well.
Beautiful. What else is beautiful? This Lucian. We haven't seen Lucian too much, but his Giant Slayer is certainly doing great work into this 5 A-bomb. Is it going to be enough, though? It's close. If Lucian gets ult one more time, is it going to tear through the Vel'Koz? Then turn his attention over to the A-bomb. Here we go. Good stuff, Lucian. And 3 away from a Lucian 3. Sherbat does end up falling here in the bot 4. Tragedy for Sherbat's day.
Yeah. You don't want to see that on your
no
second week back.
But no top 4s either, yeah.
Unfortunately, consistently in that bot 4s, we get a 6-2 armory here with a couple emblems.
Okay.
JG.
Renewer, not bad.
Not
JG
static.
Doesn't really find too much value.
Yeah, we already have a fully itemized Lucian.
Yeah.
Unless we Lucian 3, we can pick a couple more items.
Pretty sure it's Renewer.
It's going to be the shift.
Static.
Okay.
Interesting. Also have the Last Whisper on the bench as well. Get to find another Irelia so that we can Zephyr Cheese. Love to see that. And oh, whoa, wait a second, Boop. What did we get here? Admiral Shao? Ophelios 3? Ukshan 2? Teemo 2? Admiral Shao does not pull any punches.
No, there is a Jax 3 on the board, though. So that's going to be a really interesting combination of units here once we see that Jax 3 and that Aphelios 3. I actually think the Aphelios has the better opportunity there, and the Aphelios 3 is one of the only times we do get to see this unit survive until the very end of the game. Yeah. Almost doesn't survive there as we get a knockout. Perfect knockout, 0 HP for KJ. Gremlin sneaks, almost does not sneak into the top 4, but actually gets out of the top 4. KJ is going to win out because of less negative HP. Jive and Thrive, Dim Dan Sum, and Admiral Zhao are the top 3.
Yeah, and these are going to be our top 3 finishers overall in the night. We just still have to figure out who's going to finish where, because technically if Admiral Zhao goes out in 3rd and Jive and Thrive wins, Jive and Thrive could still win the night. I think it's a bit unlikely from this position, but it can happen.
Anything can happen when it comes to TFT, right? Like that's one of the greatest things about it. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. At the end of the day,
Yep. Aphelios 3.
Jax 3, Aphelios 3. We got a little bit of protection on the Jax as well. This is bad news. Oh no, Jax going for a little bit of a walk. Was in a really great position there. Was gonna get close to the Aphelios and now is going to potentially fall because of it. But too much HP.
Oh, cruel. Wait, no.
My goodness. Jax 3 is... Oh no, we're gonna cruel. It is cruel. Doesn't matter what Jax 3 does if Teemo is the last one alive.
You know, I would love if how they named Teemo Cruel, like it's probably not this, but if like in playtesting when the devs lost like a Teemo 1 coming out of a portal, like a little Hellion thing to like a Jax 3 or something, they're like, you know what? That sucks. That's like, you know, expletives here, but they can't say that as a trait, so they named it Cruel instead.
It's Cruel. Cruella DeVille, Teemo, Nightbringer Teemo as well. So you're going to get a little bit of that shield, which probably ended up helping. And it would be so funny to see another Cruel again. Funny for us.
Definitely funny for us. Not funny for Jive and Thrive.
No, not at all.
But I suppose actually, we'll go to tiebreakers if Jive and Thrive wins. So we're still not out of the woods yet for Admiral Zhao. It's only a 2-point difference.
We do have a couple more rounds. If Admiral Zhao does lose out, the Thornmail on the Volibear should get us to our first ultimate, and it does. It's Trampoline Park. The Galio's in the back line trying to keep some of our friends safe, but this Aphelios 3 is just so strong, especially with the 90 extra damage. But this was the issue last time. No Cruel that time, right?
No
so
Cruel.
it's either Cruel or not. When it comes to these rounds, we should go into round 7. If we don't get a Cruel, if we do, then it's going to be Admiral Zhao's. But it seems like that's the only way that the Jax loses at this point.
We'll just have to see. I mean, if it is just Teemo coming out of a portal and the Cruel, then we could still see a stage 7 with that as well. But this is intense stuff. Not often do we see these 4 cost 3-star units duke out against each other. Jax versus Velios. Zephyr onto the Diana. Oh, the Thresh Hook.
Nice Thresh Hook. Diana gonna put them into the back line. Lulu could actually be a little bit of a game changer as well, but no, the Jax gonna get there in time. We're going one more round. Are we though?
I believe we will be, yes. Not enough to finish off Admiral Zhao. Going into stage 7. Gotta make up some, add some time to the broadcast somehow.
Yeah, because the last lobby ended at 6-1. To put it into perspective,
yeah.
6 whole rounds ago, as it's going to be a Shojin's, which is going to be kind of nice for the Teemo. Unfortunately, it's going to be a positioning death for Admiral Zhao. Like, I really don't think the units matter outside of that Teemo being the last one.
Ooh, gonna be able to level up actually to 9 as well as Admiral Zhao, so maybe an extra unit will make a bit of a difference. See, putting in a 4th Nightbringer. That actually could. And with a Teemo... Oh, okay. Okay, that was big, actually. Ivern 2, Teemo having a Shojin, and 4 Nightbringer. That's a lot of upgrades Admiral Zhao just got.
That's a bigger shield for sure. So that's going to give us another opportunity to get a Cruel off. This is going to be the last round of the night and potentially might decide the overall winner.
Oh, ooh. Okay, Teemo in the corner. Much more likely for Cruel to happen here. But what else?
Oh, nice effort to get past the Fiddlesticks right onto the Ivern. Only a couple auto attacks.
No.
Oh no!
Teemo.
Oh, but the Aphelios is getting an ult off. Actually,
wait a minute.
We might kill the Jax. No, we don't. Unfortunately, just not enough damage. This Jax is it.
No.
See you later.
Jive and Thrive takes the victory, and we go to tiebreakers, Boop. 3 wins in a row for Jive and Thrive. Admiral Zhao was still very consistent overall on the night. Had a first, a third, and then 2 seconds. Is it still? I don't know. I don't know who's going to the tiebreakers. That's crazy. Again, math. We're
that's why.
Leave it to the admins. Leave it to the smarter people.
Yeah, our production with questionable cheese tastes will be deciding our tiebreaker. Not on cheese, but on points. Craft American
What's your favorite
singles.
cheese, Boop?
My favorite is actually stinky cheese. I really like Gorgonzola, like a lot.
Gorgonzola.
There's
that was literally a meme in my college, Gorgonzola cheese at the time, but that's another story for another day.
They're at the OG, the Gorgonzola steak Alfredo, one of my favorite ever meals before I had to stop eating gluten. But yes, we are ready for our scores. It sounds like.
All right, Admiral Zhao gonna be taking it. Looks like that bottom 4 place from Jive and Thrive was not good enough for the average. Damn, 3 firsts in a row, 33 points. I think that's the first time we've seen like players be so close with having so many points.
Yeah, and got to give props to whoever gets into 3rd place there, especially since there was a tie. Papa Lev definitely helping a little bit, but Dim Dansum on that last round did a really good job, because remember, we're at 29 HP for the majority of that lobby. So to get into that 3rd place spot was very, very nice, especially for how high rolly the early game was for a lot of our players in that last lobby. So that's our top 3.
Yep, and then Papa Lev gets the 4th over Gremlin, gets some of the money, even with still going 8th, still get some reward because of how well they played earlier on. And just for a bit of context, if people didn't know, the tiebreakers do go for average placement, which Admiral Zhao did get average placement of 2, whereas Drive and Thrive average placement was 2.25, so just a bit lower there. We'll be speaking to Admiral Shao again for second week in a row. I mean, and this is some consistency. This is the things that we like to see, isn't it, Boop? With players coming in here in these fight nights and dominating, especially with a new set on the horizon, as we will spoil it already. I'm excited for it. We will be confirmed getting set 6 next week for fight night.
Next week. So
yes.
Khroen and I are going to learn all of the names, all of the augments, all of the synergies, classes, and origins. But that is going to be live next week. But also live, I think we have our champion online right now. Admiral Zhao, are you there?
Hello, wait. I'm actually kind of confused about why I'm waiting here.
Okay, so you had an average placement of second, right? And because Jive and Thrive got 3 points on the first round, even with 3 firsts, it brought the average down to 2.25.
Yeah, but I went back to, I didn't know what the tiebreaker was, so I read back to read the rule set, and in the rule set, doesn't it say most first places as the first tiebreaker?
That was the old tiebreaker.
That was
so
the
might
old
have found the old. Yes,
Yeah.
it has been changed for a little bit now. I mean, yeah, that is what it is. It is average placement. I think it's been changed for probably a couple of sets now, but yeah, you are a victor. So congratulations, back-to-back Fight Night Rising victory. You had an insane, consistent performance tonight, even though, you know, only got 1 win, but it was enough. How are you feeling right now? I know I'm a bit confused, but besides that.
I mean, okay, yeah, now I have to process that I actually won. I mean, it's pretty great I won. Let's fucking go. Holy shit. Wow, that was so close at the end. I honestly can't believe I can't beat that guy with that board. I guess he does have 3 Ironclad, but I honestly thought that I'd be able to beat that board somehow. But I was struggling so hard just trying to cheese out a win with Cruel, and it just wasn't happening. And I don't know.
Yeah. It happened once.
It did.
It happened once, but yeah, I needed it to happen again. But also, like, that last lobby, I just want to talk about it a little more. Like, the last lobby, there were so many AP players. There were like 5 AP players, I think. And so I took a Mystic spat, but that ended up being worthless in the final 3 because it was like Lucian and Jax. And I was just, oh, wow, okay. I'm still thinking about that last game, thinking about what I could have done better because in my mind, it cost me the win, but I won. So I guess I can stop thinking about it.
I mean, I think it is always nice. I mean, myself, coming from a competitive background as well, always like to be thinking, what could I have done better? You know, and I think that thought process is not only helpful for yourself personally, but maybe people be interested as well. So, I mean, give you time if you want to. You don't have to, but to go through your thought process there. Like, is there anything else that comes to mind that you could have done differently to maybe win that? In terms of, you know, maybe positioning, maybe something else.
I mean, so the thing is like in that game, I had a 2-star Rel and a 2-star Nautilus, and I sold them because I assumed that like it was an AP heavy lobby, right? And
yeah.
So then I didn't have those anymore when I like needed to 1v1 Jive at the end there. And I don't know, maybe I could have found them again while I was rolling for like, I wasn't even rolling for anything. Once I hit the 3-star Aphelios, I wasn't even rolling for anything. But maybe if I actually should have just kept them, maybe I should have had more foresight in seeing that he was going to be my main competitor, though I'd have to go back and like watch like my VOD again to like see like if I like made a wrong decision there to go for the Revenant route for my front line, because the Revenant route gives you Mystic also, as opposed to the Ironclad front line, which would have been better in that last 1v1. I don't know. It's
a lot of small things. There's a lot to digest there, for sure.
Exactly.
So my question to you is, this is the last set 5.5 match Fight Night Rising that we're going to have. So are you pretty excited about coming in to our PBE games next week? So have you been playing around? Any highlights for you so far?
So I have been playing a little bit of PBE. Actually, to be honest, most of my games were on the day when ZZ Route was still bugged, so I didn't get into any late game situations. All my games, one of them was caused by myself, actually, I remember, because Scrap can spawn a ZZ Route by accident.
Yeah.
I didn't process that at the time, but yeah, yeah, I'm super excited. It seems like a lot of fun. I feel like I haven't learned like all the augments yet. It's like there's just so many of them. There's so many variations. Yeah, there's so much depth now to the game that like it's. Yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like if I'm probably gonna come back and feed next week. But like coming back and feed next week, like I don't know if anyone is gonna know what they're doing.
It's the Wild West when it comes to the new sets there. So I'm really excited to see. I was getting through that scrap situation as well because it's all I've been playing because I like pain. So the other thing, last thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have anyone who you have your eyes on? Who do you think is going to be one of the better players in Set 6? Is it going to be you? Is it someone that maybe we face today? Is it someone that you respect? Who do you have your eye on like the Set 6 kind of master so far?
I mean, this man Jive in this lobby right here, who got 3 dubs, it was pretty impressive. In terms of like bigger name streamers, like for me, like I think Khroen is always a super consistent guy. Robin Song, like honestly, Jive just did his best impression of Robin Songs here. Like Robin Songs is gonna be always there. Um, I don't know, like in terms of smaller, I honestly am not sure, but those two are 2 of the big ones I usually look at, Robin and Khroen.
Cool.
Yeah. Definitely great players, and maybe you can put your name in the conversation of great players with these back-to-back Fight Night victories and perhaps into Set 6 as well. But congratulations once again on your victory, Admiral Shao. It was a hard-fought one, a very, very close one. And I'm going to give you the floor for any shout-outs before we let you go.
Shout out to my Twitch chat today. Twitch chat was great today. I guess I gotta plug the stream again. I guess I saw that you guys already were plugging the stream, but twitch.tv Admiral Zhao. Admiral Zhao is abbreviated ADM. Zhao, no spaces. That's the same thing for Twitter and Instagram also. Those are also linked on my Twitch channel. Yeah, I think that's it. I didn't plug these last week, so I gotta plug them this time.
Yeah, make sure to plug your socials. Got to grow the brands. Very, very important.
Exactly.
But yeah, make sure to go give Admiral Shao a follow on all of those. And once again, congratulations. And we'll see you here next week for Set 6 PvE.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. All right, Boop. There it is. It was a interesting day here, I would say. I definitely got to respect the triple first places. 33 points on the old, on the old format and the old tiebreakers that would have won, but we started moving over to these average placements a while ago. That's what official like larger TFT tournaments do as well. So makes sense to carry it on with this one. And
yeah, I mean, it's all about that strategy, right? First or eighth, top 4, right? Both have been successful. It's just this time around, it was that consistency, right? The overarching theme here is that, I think coming in today, we were both like, it's the old set, but we got to see some shenanigans today when it came to stealing units, rolling down at really random places, crazy comps. It was a pretty great send-off for the set, to be completely honest with you. But
it was.
I am ready for next week. I am ready for these augments. I'm ready to see socialites and academies and scraps and chem tanks and all of the above and everything that I didn't name there, because this next set is shaping up to be ridiculously good, and I'm pretty excited.
Oh, it is. I have to echo the sentiment, though. I think what a better way, or there could have been a better way to end off this set. Like, we did see a lot of amazing action today. I really do have to give shout outs to the players competing for it to give us this stuff, but I'm definitely with you, Boop. All full steam ahead into Set 6. I'm so excited. Before we go, I just want to get some thoughts from you on Set 6. I know you played a little bit. Do you have any standout favorite things, any moments maybe that you've had so far that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, every single time I blitzcrank the augment that makes a copy of your highest health unit.
Oh yeah.
Having 2 blitzcranks hook the same person, and seeing the game try to decide which one is going to get it right has been so funny to me. And then to just imagine 2 blitzcrank hooks coming at you at the same time must be absolutely terrifying.
What
but those are the
answer.
I know, right? To nothing good at all, but just a moment I probably will never recreate again. But that was probably a highlight for me. What about you?
I mean, I like when first places happen. I got my most first places with Jin, but it turns out Jin was bugged. He was doing more crit damage, so I don't really know anymore. I'm kind of lost. I'm like, maybe it wasn't me that was good. It was just Jin. So I got to go back to the drawing board on that one. There's so many things, though. I like Kaisa. I think Kaisa is my favorite unit. I think Mutant is fantastic. I'm going to be a Kaisa spammer, I think. So.
Yeah, I like Yone too as a unit. Really cool idea. Really cool. And like a lot of really cool flavor text, right? Like Poppy earlier, where the more armor you have, the more damage you have. There's just so many different options of identifying where damage can come from. And that's just super cool.
All right, well, before we sit here talking about set 6 all night, we'll gotta cut it off here. But it has been a blast, and that's set 5.5, and we'll be here next week, same time, same place for some set 6 PvE action. Take care, everybody. This has been Fight Night Rising, brought to you by Wisdom. Have a good night.